And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Kara Stadium here on the campus of the University of Mount Union. We are getting closer to kickoff for the Division III National Semifinal between the Mount Union Purple Raiders and the Blue Jays of Johns Hopkins University. Hi, everybody. Sam Berkman, joined by my partner John Bazika at a very quiet Kara Stadium right now, although you can hear the wind howling in the background. Getting ready for this 12:02 kickoff here today between the Raiders and the Blue Jays. And John, it's been a fun ride. One more, and the Raiders will be in the national championship game coming up early January in Houston. But obviously, you got to take care of your business here today. Um, the field, snow covered when we arrived today, is completely turf. It looks good now. It's very cold. Temperatures at 22 degrees. The wind chill is going to be down around -6 or 7. There we go. There we got a little ambiance for you. As the Blue Jays take the field here today, Mount Union will come out here in just a couple of minutes. But John, it wasn't a typical 10-0 Mount Union season, and certainly the playoffs have been a little bit more grinding as they have been in the past. But here we are. One more game and the ticket is punched.
Yeah, it's been an interesting ride. You go all the way back to September, the road trip to Ferrum to begin the season that was so long and warranted Mount a big victory, and it's kind of built from there. A tough week 2, what was week 3, win over John Carroll, and then you kind of fly through the OAC, and then you meet Marietta right at the end, and you have a really tight game there. You're down a couple times in that game. You feel like the game is getting away from you. You lose your starting quarterback in Noah Boudry. TJ DeShields, the legends of him, starts, and he comes in and makes his mark as a Purple Raider and leads them to victory in that game, and then it just keeps getting better from there. The round 1 win against John Carroll, probably the best game they played all year, I really think. Round 2, they beat Carnegie Mellon. That was one of the best games I think we've seen here all year. Literally went right down to the wire. And then last week really dominated Salisbury. Kind of surprisingly, really, because a lot of people thought that Salisbury was favored going into that game, being the home team. And then you come to today, Johns Hopkins, and these two certainly have a history. They met not that long ago. 2018 was when they met last, and it was a different head coach and we're actually going to go down to the field now, playing of our national anthem.
There's our national anthem.
Yeah, as I mentioned, this is, obviously the 5th time that they've met. They've all met in the postseason. Mount Union 4-0 all time against them. And Sam, I texted you midweek about this matchup and was saying that Johns Hopkins road here has been crazy. They beat Grove City 17-14. Grove City blocked a punt for a touchdown late. Johns Hopkins got the ball back. They couldn't ice it, and Grove City got to field goal range, and Johns Hopkins blocked the kick. They survived that round of the playoffs against DePauw. They were on the road, and DePauw had a couple of crazy moments in that. They had a play where it looked like they scored. They didn't have replay, so they couldn't review it. DePauw had to settle for a field goal. Then late in the game, DePauw got down inside the 5, and they ran out of time. Actually, a false start on DePauw's offense caused a 10-second runoff. and that ended up being what got them to this point. And then you go to last week, Mary Hardin Baylor, a team that had 3 losses. I don't think anybody expected them to be there, and they beat them 17-10. And Ranello, their quarterback, he was not their quarterback to start the season. It was actually Bay, who, as you and I pointed out, Sam, he's not even on the roster anymore. So I'm not sure what the situation was there, but they started 2-1, lost to Salisbury by 28. And I know there's been talk all week here in Alliance of everybody saying, if they lost to Salisbury by 28 and we beat Salisbury by 21, then this shouldn't even be a game. I think with Ranello at quarterback, this has been a different group, and they're playing with a lot to prove coming into today.
Now, just going to let the folks know listening at home now and checking in with us throughout the day, there will be a lot of television timeouts today, so that will kind of slow things down. There's also going to be full throttle instant replay, which could slow things down as well. So we're just going to kind of give you a heads up there before we kick. We actually will not be kicking at noon today. It'll be a little bit going to be close to like 12:04 this afternoon. As once the TV folks come in, boy, they sure take over everything. Purple Raiders today. Obviously, one win away from going to the national championship. Purple jerseys, black pants, white numbers in letters with the purple, white, and black trim. You got the purple helmets with the script Raiders on the side. Johns Hopkins Blue Jays, looking a little bit like the Toronto Blue Jays, if you will. White jerseys, white pants, black numbers and letters with the sky/teal blue. No stripes on the pants, no stripes on the jerseys. They've got blue and white stripe down the side of the helmet, and they got the script J's in blue on the side of those blue those black Johns Hopkins helmets. So we're getting closer to kickoff again. It's going to be another 3 or 4 minutes before we start. The wind today, again, is atrocious, and it's blowing a little differently today. Usually it blows toward the scoreboard here at Kara Stadium. Today, it's blowing to the opposite end zone. And I'm just looking out in the parking lot, and you still got some tailgaters out there, and some of the inflatables are absolutely getting whipped around pretty good right now. There's actually one of a giant helmet that's getting whipped around. The Christmas Grinch looks like it actually took a tumble over there. It's face down on the concrete, and the flags out there are blowing pretty strong right to left. So the wind chill got to be around 10 today, if not a little chillier, as the folks continue to come in again. No students on campus as their holiday break is underway, so there won't be many of the students here. There's a handful down there to our right. Across the way, the Mount Union partisan crowd is walking into the stadium. They know the drill here. And looking beneath us, Johns Hopkins, who made the trip just outside the Baltimore area. What's that, John? About a seven and a half hour trip.
Yeah.
So those folks are here. They got their bundled up gear on. They're not a bad contingent from Johns Hopkins beneath us, and some folks scattered to the left and right of them here on the visiting side at Mount Union. So the Purple Raiders will start the ball game. They will get the ball and go left to right. So they will be going into the wind as it kind of swirls a little bit here at the stadium. So we are ready for kickoff. 1310 WDPN, streaming live at Q92radiosports.com. Don't forget the Q92 Sports Facebook page and, of course, YouTube channel. We'll be with you all afternoon long here in Alliance as we try to get you one more W before, hopefully, a trip to H-Town, which would be 2 weeks from this weekend, not next weekend.
Well, and you keep in mind the last time these two teams met, Coach Jim Margraf was on the sideline for Johns Hopkins, and actually a month after that loss, Sam, 28-20, the Johns Hopkins suffered here at Mount Union. He passed away of a heart attack, tragically. So I know their head coach now in Dan Wadika mentioned in his press conference last week that they're playing for Coach Margraf and trying to continue what he started. You mentioned that helmet, Sam. It is literally...
it's flipped sideways up in the air. They're going to have a tough time getting that baby put away. And there are some still folks out in the tailgate lot, but they'll they'll be making their way in here. Football has come off the tee twice, if that gives you any inclination of how bad the wind is here today. So Hopkins is going to have somebody come in and hold the ball
I was
before they
pumping.
kick it off.
I was pumping gas on the way in here on State in Alliance, and man, my bones. It was to my bones. I was cold, Sam.
You know, the old pumping the gas, especially on the corner gas stations in this kind of weather.
Oh, I thought about that.
There is nothing worse. I'm telling you. Paxton's got it teed up at the 35-yard line, and we are underway. An Alliance winner goes to Houston for the national title. Williams on the return for Mount Darnell, 10, 15, 20. Gets a crack, 25, Darnell, 30, 35, 40. He's to the 45 and out of bounds at the Mount Union 48-yard line. Good way to start the afternoon. Darnell Williams on a return, 1st and 10, Purple Raiders.
Looks like they had that setup to come this way. Darnell fielded it left side of the field, basically on the left numbers, came outside of the right numbers, and really, really nice blocking in there, kind of wedged everything in. And we talk about it all the time, Sam. Darnell Williams, he was an all-purpose leader last year for this team, and just need to give him the ball in more situations.
So here come the Purple Raiders. DJ DeShields, 6'4", 220 out of West Branch. Gets the call again today, and he has had a heck of a year since coming in for the injured Noah Boudry. Back to throw, TJ. Pressure's on. He's going to run. Here he goes. 50 and slides down at the 40. Oh, gee whiz. I'm going to say he started sliding as a 49-yard line. That's a gain of around 4. We'll call it 2nd down and 6.
You know, whereas Noah could use his legs a lot, I think the thing that's so impressive about TJ is that he is capable of stepping up and being a little fleet of foot at times, but it's the arm strength, Sam. That's what separates him. Even in the wind today, he'll still fire a great bullet.
Cooper in motion around the back, handoff to Echeverry, and Tyler's going to be taken down at the 49-yard line. Big tackle for the Blue Jays. That's Matthew Conkle, senior defensive lineman, number 41, make the play. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and a little closer to 6 now for the Purple Raiders. The ball is just outside the Johns Hopkins 49-yard line. 13:54 to go in the opening quarter of play. Just underway here in Alliance. Sam Berkwin and John Bazika. Purple Raider playoff football on 1310 WDPN. Raiders got to get 6 now. Nicky Turner in motion. He back to throw, TJ. He's got run. He's got room, and he bulldozes his way inside the 45 down to the Johns Hopkins 43. Close to a 1st down, but I think he might be a little bit short. Let's see. Nope, 1st down, Purple Raiders. And TJ, for the 2nd time today, John, using his wheels to pick up some yardage, and that time we got him out 1st down.
You know, you mentioned Matthew Conkle on the previous play. That was his 14th tackle for loss this season. 8.5 sacks to go along with the 14 tackles for loss this year, and he has been really big piece for them, and they're actually going to review the spot on this.
Already.
And I thought this would happen, Sam. And we got to look at our monitor here to the left. He needed the 43 of Hopkins, and I don't know. I mean, I from the naked eye, it looks like he got it. But I don't know. That angle looks different now. I know you hate this.
It's almost like they're looking for an excuse to use the technology that's there. So the clock stops with 13:12 to go in the 1st quarter. No score, Mount Union and Johns Hopkins. 3 o'clock today is the other national semifinal. North Central Illinois taking on Susquehanna. That's a little bit after 3 o'clock today. Winner here will meet the winner of that game in Houston. Coming up here early January. So it looks like they did not get the 1st down. I will applaud the crew there. That was a pretty quick review. So they did a nice job there. You wish they could all be that way.
Now
they moved that ball a whole yard back.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. But well, no, that's see now you look at that and that's correct. His left knee was down at the 44-yard line. So Mount Union needs a yard.
Early drama here in this one. 4th and 1 Raiders at the Johns Hopkins 44. Cooper in motion. Give it to Echeverry. 1st down, Purple Raiders at the Johns Hopkins 42-yard line. Tyler going over the center, going over the right guard. Nice job up front by the Purple Raiders. Kennedy, Cange, Fortner, Burris, and Lilly. Moving bodies out of the way, first down, Mount Union. Echeverry to the right of his quarterback, TJ to Shields. Cooper in a slot. Anderson in motion right. He'll go back left. TJ to throw. Here comes the blitz. Anderson wide open. Caught at 40. Johns Hopkins, 37-yard line. It goes out of bounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a gain of around 6 yards on the play for Anderson. The tight end makes the catch for Mount. Picks up a good 6. We'll call it second down 4.
Kind of gave him a really nice flat out route there coming off of the line of scrimmage. And I think Matt Anderson, really underrated pass catcher. Both of the Mount Union tight ends are underrated pass catchers.
Purple Raiders ready to roll now. Sanders wide to the right, Turner in a slot right with Cooper. TJ going to throw it deep left side. Overthrown for Anderson, incomplete down at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, they wanted to go post corner that time with Anderson to the left sideline. TJ getting hit made the release of the ball not as clear and as concise, and Anderson kind of tripped a bit on his route there, Sam. Didn't get out of the break. You wonder, they cleared the field of all the snow before the game, but you wonder if there's not still some patches of maybe ice down there on the field.
No doubt. It was pretty snow covered completely when we got here, but they did a nice job of clearing the field off. 3rd down and 4 for Mount Union. Are they going to send the house again? Nope. Raiders go with a handoff. Echeverry, and he's going to be stood up and taken down just inside the Johns Hopkins 35-yard line. So it's going to be 4th and about 3. Obviously, you're going to go here.
I'm kind of surprised that they ran right there because they had Anderson and Williams as extra blockers, and they both pulled left. You would have thought that Echeverry would have pulled around the left end. And if you look here, Sam, they have 2 tight ends left, both Sims and Anderson. Watch to run that way.
Let's see if they maybe look at Sims, maybe, or if he's just out there to be a blocker. 4th and 3, Raiders at the Johns Hopkins 35. Give to Echeverry, trying to get the left side. Tyler running. Did he get a first down? He did. At the 31-yard line, the referee says, move the sticks. 1st and 10, Purple Raiders.
Yeah, well-designed football play. As I said, you have the extra blockers. They kind of hedge in there, and then you pull Burris across. You also pull 62, I think that's Kennedy across.
Yep.
So you pull the 2 guards left and gives you that nice little avenue to run through, and Tyler ran right behind them.
How about the monitor today, John? The angle that they have.
I love it.
Today. It's a little different.
Makes me sound smarter.
There's 20, 25. Go. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Purple Raiders. There's our guy. Darnell Williams into the end zone. Touchdown, Mount Union. Good things happen when you give the ball to number 21.
I mean, it's really just designed to get Darnell one-on-one in space. Breaks that 1 tackle, breaks
3.
a second, breaks a 3rd.
Yep.
And then the block on the outside, I think that was Tyrell Sanders throwing the block downfield. And, he's so quick. He's so shifty in the open field. You give him any ounce of daylight, and he's going to make a play.
Yvonne Merrick on for the extra point. Snap spot. Kick is up, and it is good. And the Purple Raiders have taken an early 7-0 lead. Darnell Williams from 31 yards. And that was a very nice way to start the football game today here for Mount Union.
Yeah, really impressed by that block downfield there by Tyrell Sanders. That's what ultimately sprung it free. But, Sam, you counted them. 3 broken tackles. That was a man's run by Darnell Williams. He's a little guy, too.
Yeah. I was talking to John before that play. If you're at home watching, or you've watched, a lot of football games, there's a certain angle that you will see from the TV cameras. It'll be, usually it's the all-22 look, and it's up high. But here it's a little, for whatever reason, and maybe it's ESPN, I don't know what, but it's a different look, and it's lower, but you're still back a little bit, and it's almost like a ground level. It's like the guys are running at you, which is kind of cool. You get the overtop look at times, and you get that look, and it's a little different way to kind of take the game in. But that's what we got going on here. So, this is our first long TV timeout of the day. 10:49 to go, 7-0 Mount Union. And John, the Raiders came out throwing. they run a little bit, and they run it into the end zone. So they got some good pass blocking in. They got some good run blocking in. And hey, national semi, you go down and score with under 5 minutes time. That's a good way to go.
Yeah, 9-play, 53-yard drive. They're showing that replay that ended in the 31-yard Darnell Williams touchdown, and they're showing the block on the end there by Tyrell Sanders over and over again. And I think for good reason they're showing it, because I don't know what they're talking about on the national broadcast, if you will, but I think there's a debate probably going on of whether or not there was a potential hold on the outside on Tyrell, because he kind of got. But I mean, you're allowed to have a certain amount of push that you're giving towards your guy, and I think sometimes we're looking for opportunities to call a hold.
Yes. So ready to go. The 13th time national champions. Up 7-0 here. Again, semifinal game 2 is not until after 3 o'clock today. And I think we would all agree that North Central is a big favorite today against Susquehanna. That ball game in Naperville again a little bit after 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Well, I mean, again, you base comparable score on today. I think there's a lot of people in 44601 area code that would feel that Mount Union a big favorite today, but we're going to get a look at just how good Johns Hopkins is offensively here.
Second time the ball's blown off the tee for Yvonne Merrick, so now the Raiders will send in Tony Cook.
I will say, I have to look this up, but this might be the first time this postseason that Johns Hopkins has trailed.
Yeah.
I don't know that they've ever trailed, because I think they've jumped on all of their opponents. I got to check that, though.
So Cook is in to hold the ball for the kickoff. Again, this wind is just absolutely obnoxious. Kickoff into the wind, very short. Bounces. It's a loose ball at the 30, and Johns Hopkins, oh my goodness, they fall on it at their 29-yard line. That could have been disastrous for the Blue Jays. And I thought for a second Mount Union was going to come up with that pigskin. Wow.
Number 12, not Ranello, the quarterback. It's the second 12 on
Second 12. Zach Stone.
He's the one right at the end.
Yep.
Ball was rolling loose towards the left, and he just fell on it. Oh, my goodness.
Well, the way that wind's whipping and that kickoff, I mean, that ball, it gets played with big-time tricks by that wind. Here comes Johns Hopkins now. 1st and 10 Blue Jays. They're going to throw it out in the flat. Caught at the 30, 34, and out at the 34-yard line is Cole Crotty, the sophomore wide receiver.
Yeah, between Crotty, Tallarico 4, and Leger, number 88, their graduate tight end, they've got some really nice targets for Ranello to get the ball to.
Yeah, we're going to see the ball in the air a lot by Johns Hopkins. James Ranello claps his hands, gets the snap. He's going to go back to throw. He's in trouble. Now he's going to run. He's got speed, and he slides down around the 40. And that should be a first down. He can move, Ranello.
Well, and I think you see why maybe they made the change from Bay Harvey to him after their loss to Salisbury. Harvey much more of a pocket passer. And not that this guy isn't, but he's got the wheels to go along with it.
Ranello back to throw. Looks, crossing route, wide open. Leger at the 45 to the 50 to the Purple Raider 47-yard line. He was wide open coming across. Ranello hit him in stride, and the Blue Jays now 1st and 10 at the Mount Union 47-yard line.
Doesn't he look like
to go.
Doesn't he look like an NFL tight end there?
He does.
And all the other guys kind of look like, they're Division III college kids.
Ranello is only 6 foot, about 180 pounds. But again, he can move. Raiders with 4th down, lineman motion coming this way. Inside handoff, tailback 50, 45 of Mount, twisting down to the Purple Raider 42-yard line. That was Schroeder on the carry. Junior running back Jeff Schroeder. Spells Jeff Geoff. Like our own Jeff Mears spells his name, Jeff. Blue Jays second down and 5 at the Mountain 43. 7-0 Raiders. 8:44 clock running here in the first quarter of play. Blue Jays in the all-white today. Mountain purple jerseys, black pants. Here's the snap. Shotgun snap. Ranello back to third. Look at him go. 40, 35, 30. All kind of room. 25. Ranello all the way down to the Raider 23-yard line. That's a gain of 19 yards and a Blue Jay first down. Well, this kid is wicked dangerous in the open field.
By the way, for what it's worth, this is the first time this postseason that Johns Hopkins has trailed an opponent. They have built the lead on everyone else that they have played. And Sam Ranello, we knew of his arm, but the slippery nature of him out of the backfield, he's going to be a tough little guy to get after this afternoon.
Boy, they are responding after being down for the first time ever. Leger comes in motion, sets tight at almost an H-back. Ranello fakes it to Schroeder. He's looking right side, back corner route, incomplete in the end zone. Is there a flag? No flag. E.J. Tallarico was the wide receiving candidate, and it was incomplete. Janssens was back there along with Liebler. Incomplete.
I can understand Tallarico and the other wide receivers' argument because Zach Liebler never turned around to that football, and he was into the midsection. Well, I don't know. I don't know. There was a lot of contact there. That's all I'll say.
Let's just move on from that play. What do you say? 2nd and 10. Blue Jays trips to the left for Johns Hopkins. Mount leads at 7-0. Back to throw over the middle, caught inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
You know, it's a matchup to watch throughout the afternoon, Sam, but they had Leger, the big tight end, going one-on-one in coverage there with Zach Liebler giving up inches. And neither of the Mount corners, Liebler nor Cook, neither of them are big guys.
No.
They're aggressive, but they're not tall.
So Johns Hopkins third will call it a short 3, long 2 just inside the Raider 15-yard line. Blue Jays going right to left here in the first. Mount on top, 7-0. Motion left. It's going to be a run by Ranello all the way, picking his way through, and he's got a first down at the Mount Union 10-yard line. James Ranello out of Greenwich, Connecticut, with the first down, beautifully running off of his blocks by the offensive line, and it's going to be 1st and goal for Johns Hopkins.
Just an impressive drive. What a response by them, and what a way to move right down the field. And it's all started and finished with Ranello. He's made great decisions with the football, and his ability to run and extend plays is impressive.
Jeff Schroeder tailback to the right, Twins left, slot right for Johns Hopkins. We're coming up on 6:27 to go in the first quarter. If you're just tuning in, hang out with us here for a little bit. 7-0 Mount Union here on 1310 WDPN. It's a handoff. Schroeder over the right side. He's going to bounce his way down to the 6 for a gain of 4 on the play. Caleb Brown hanging around the area for the Purple Raiders.
You know, you hate to use the cliche of it, but you get to this point, you expect everyone to be good. You're not expecting to come in and run through opponents.
No, shouldn't be that way for a semifinal.
No. Semifinal and final, games should be close. Point in from that, you never know in the first 3 rounds.
Tallarico and Schroeder wide to the right, slot left, wide left for the Blue Jays. Schroeder comes back around in motion, gets the handoff inside the 5 to the 4 to the 3 to the 2, and he pounds his way down to the 1. This will set up an interesting call for Johns Hopkins.
So I think it's interesting because obviously what they want to do is be a pass-first team, but they're trying to make Mount Union at least respect the run by giving Schroeder those early carries, and he's a very capable back. By the way, it looks like they brought in about 6 tight ends here.
It did.
And Mount Union has brought in up extra size up front. Jackson Harris and Garrett Kramer in his noses on this play.
So it's going to be 3rd and goal just inside the Raider 2. They give the Schroeder. Schroeder's in. Touchdown, Johns Hopkins. They went right over the center. A little bit of the left guard. Not much resistance there by the Raider defensive front, and Johns Hopkins is on the board with exactly 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's 7-6 Purple Raiders And the PAT is coming up for the Blue Jays and Brad Paxton.
Well, they had LaRue Linder, the junior tight end. They had Zach Shapiro, and they had Leger into the game. They're all blocking up front, but they didn't run behind any of them. As you said, center and left guard, and pounded it in.
Paxton on for the extra point. It's up and it's good. And there's a timeout here at Mount Union. So, with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, the Purple Raiders and the Blue Jays are tied at 7. And for not being behind on the scoreboard at all during the postseason, Johns Hopkins certainly counterpunched on that drive, did they not?
11 plays, 70 yards, 5:47 taken off of the clock, and the 1-yard Jeff Schroeder touchdown run to cap it off, and really a very impressive drive. And maybe what's most impressive from it, Sam, is that it really was running the football. They ran for 44 yards on that drive, and they only passed for 26. And we know we've seen Mount so many times this year that, you know, the one weakness that you could probably point to defensively for them is their ability to defend the pass sometimes. So, we said it coming in. We felt that today was going to be more of a Carnegie Mellon type battle than a Salisbury type of battle. And I want to preface this by saying this too for the folks listening at home. It's not that Salisbury wasn't good. It's that Salisbury was one-dimensional. And I thought this was interesting. My father and I, we did the game last week, and Sam was obviously off, but we ran into an alum of the Salisbury program that had played for their coach, Sherman Wood, and he was very upset after the game, and he said, we've been running this stupid triple option offense for years. And he said, we've been trying to get him to understand that they need to pass the football. And I don't care who you are. You get to this level of college football in the Final Four at any level. If you're not able to pass and run the football at a high level and do them both equally, you're not going to succeed. These two teams, Mount Union's a stronger running team, but TJ DeShields can make any throw. And as evidenced on that first drive by Johns Hopkins, Sam, they can get the job done both ways. And that's why both these teams are here.
So 7-7 our score as we get ready for the kickoff here, coming up out of another very long television stoppage and play. Other college football games going on today. Well, there's a big one tonight down in Columbus, but before that, there are a couple of ball games to tell you about. They're underway up in Happy Valley. Penn State and SMU no score. 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Clemson, Texas will be at 4 o'clock down in Austin. And then the Buckeyes and Volunteers in Columbus tonight a little bit after 8 p.m.
I think just like it was interesting to see how Johns Hopkins responded on that drive, I think it's really interesting now to see how Mount Union responds. They've been punched in the mouth a bit after that drive. Johns Hopkins made that look pretty easy. Can Mount Union respond?
Yeah, they had a very nice opening drive, did the Raiders. We'll see if they can put back-to-back drives together.
Well, and everything on those first couple drives normally scripted on both sides.
Yep.
How does the offense look now that it's no longer off the script?
Yep. A lot of people forget about that. The first 10, 12, 15 plays are all scripted out. And after that, you're going by the feel of the game. Furman with the kickoff, bangs it into the end zone. And the Purple Raiders will take over first and 10. 7-7, exactly 5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter of play. Johns Hopkins, 12-1. The Raiders came in 13-0. Snow-covered field when we arrived several hours ago. It is completely cleared off now. And if you couldn't hear the wind, and if you weren't here in person to experience the 21-degree temperatures, you'd say, hey, this looks like a beautiful 65-degree day in Alliance.
No.
Looking at that turf. But it's a little cold out today. TJ in the gun. He'll go back to throw it. DeShields looking left. Fires incomplete at the 34-yard line. Nicky Turner and the entire Mount Union sideline wanted a flag, didn't get it. P.J. Penders, the defensive back, on the coverage for Johns Hopkins second down.
similar to the Liebler play on the other side, and I think the officials drawing a firm line in the sand, saying you can be a little physical, and I don't know which team that benefits because Mount Union likes to be physical. Their corners really like to get up in your face.
Sims and Anderson, almost a double tight end look to the right. Bad snap from center. DeShields picks it up, throws the slant to Tyrell, caught it at the 35. He's to the 40. Sanders to the 45 to midfield. Look at him go to the Johns Hopkins 45-yard line. First down, Purple Raiders. How about that run after the catch by Tyrell Sanders?
Something I wish they would do more of. It's a quick slant at the line, and he's one-on-one there. Safety waits too long to come up, and Tyrell just so athletic with the ball in his hands. I think he's probably the most underrated wide receiver that Mount Union has had in the last 10 years. People don't realize just how good he is.
Boy. DeShields back to throw deep left. Got a man. Turner in the ball got hung up in the wind and incomplete down at the 15-yard line.
Did you see that?
Yes.
That was wild.
Wasn't that just – the ball had no chance of getting to where it was supposed to go because of the wind, and it was a late. See if we can pick it up on the replay.
I mean, folks, I'm talking about like this ball was in the air, and it ends up 5 full yards short of Turner, who's running towards the left sideline, and when it hit on the ground, it checked like a golf shot.
Yeah. Wow. Sanders in motion, 2nd and 10, Mount. Inside handoff, Echeverry. Tyler, 50-45. Shake and bake. He's inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 7 yards on the play.
I've never seen that before. Like,
that was bizarre.
I've seen that, but I've never seen that like that clear as day. I've seen plays where the wind affects it, but man, that's going to be a big thing as the day goes on.
Yep. Because this wind is not going anywhere today. This is here. Matter of fact, I think it's here for the entire rest of the weekend. Looking at the forecast today, tonight, tomorrow, and into Monday, this is what you're going to have to deal with. Twins to the left, Echeverry behind his quarterback. Anderson to the right, Sanders right, fake, handoff, throw outside to Cooper, couldn't grab it, incomplete. A little low, and again, the wind played tricks with that ball with a flat. Incomplete. That brings up 4th down for Mount. I would assume they will go here. Mount 4th and 3 at the 38-yard line of Johns Hopkins.
So interesting stat. Mount Union already 0 of 3, by the way, on 3rd down. And they're 2 for 2 on 4th down. And here comes Noah Boudry. Maybe watch a zone read type of play where he runs and
here comes a timeout. Yep. So the Raiders will call timeout with 3:25 to go in the first quarter. It's a 7-7 ball game. And go ahead.
No. I don't know. We might be thinking the same thing here.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for a moment where Noah Boudry was going to be needed this postseason, and I think today might be that day, just because of the wind, as shown on Johns Hopkins' first drive. The ability of Ranello to run with the football as well played a big factor, and it's not that I don't appreciate everything TJ has done, and I know the team loves that he's gotten them here, but this is more of a ground and pound type of day and short intermediate passes, and that's not really TJ DeShields.
See what the play call is here. Obviously, when John Hopkins sees Boudry come in, they probably get a little feel for what could be in the offing as far as the play call is concerned, but we'll see.
Well, and you wonder, too, I mean, it's been, what now? Basically 2 months since the injury.
Gosh, yeah, it has been about 2 months.
So you would imagine that his leg is okay, but how confident is he to run? How confident is he to make that play? And you wonder how many reps he's gotten doing this during the week. That's the other thing. Because it looks like in the pregame that TJ and Noah have kind of split first-team reps in the pregame.
By the way, another full media timeout here. 7-7 is our score. 3:25 to go in the first quarter.
7-0 Penn State. And it looks like I'll tell you in a second. Pick 6.
Oh, wow.
My
Well,
SMU.
SMU already kind of behind the 8 ball there, going into the cold. Decided underdog today. You can't play giveaway in a playoff game and expect to win. And the Ponies, their first turnover, and Nittany Lions jump out to a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, what was it? 9.5, I think. Yeah. Did you see the other night that Al Michaels during the game, he made the comment that the Chargers in that Super Bowl that one year, he was like, I think the spread was 14. He was like, I couldn't talk about that back then.
Here we go. 4th down and 3 for Mount Union at the Johns Hopkins 38-yard line. Boudry, fake. Noah left, got a man wide open. Look at that. Thomas 30, 25, 20, 15, and he goes out of bounds. What a call. A double fake and a throw in the flat. Boudry's still limping, John, as he goes to the sidelines. You wonder if just something like that took that much out of him. He's got to go down and over to the sidelines and sit down. And he pounds the table on the far side as the teammates come over to console him. He hurt himself.
He did.
He hurt himself just on a double fake and it wasn't a full sprint left. It was like a roll. He found Thomas. That's the good news. It's down to the 13-yard line. Here's Echeverry right up the middle. 15, 10, 5. He crosses the goal line and a touchdown. Officials say touchdown. I'm sure this will be a review. Here they come already out of the field. 13-7 Mount Union. You get the big play, Boudry to Thomas, and then Echeverry right up the middle into the end zone, and it's a 6-point Mount Union lead.
Well, it's a perfect reason as to why you bring Noah Boudry in, because as a defense, because of his running ability, you are trained then to wonder if you need to look at that as being an issue, and they are reviewing this, but it's clearly a touchdown, and they're going to review all scoring plays today.
Yvonne Merrick out for the extra point. Come on, snap the ball. High snap. Franklin gets it down. The kick by Merrick is good. And with 2:47 to go in the first quarter, the Mount Union offense is humming. 14-7 Raiders over Johns Hopkins. Well, now you wonder about Noah Boudry now again.
Well, you do. And the other thing about that is that's where, I'm sure all week, and I'm sure, Mount Union's medical staff and other folks involved in the program, as far as Division III football goes, it's one of the best in the nation, if not the best, the facilities they have here. But, that's where Noah probably talks to them all week and he says, I'm good to go. But you can't simulate game action. Nope. How is that going to feel? You execute a fake like that, you roll left, you throw it. That's different than when you know that, you've got a dummy jersey on in practice and they say, don't hit him. He's thinking through things differently, and you just hope he's okay, because it was clear they needed him there. Mm-hmm. He executed
and it was perfect.
That. Yes.
He executed it perfectly. You're right.
So, now that's potentially not going to be in the works, we don't know what happens if they come to another 4th down. They're 3 for 3 on 4th down today, and it's helped them twice. What happens the next time they have to go for it on 4th down?
So that will certainly be something to keep an eye on. Merrick again having the ball held by Tony Cook at the 35 for the kickoff because of the swirling wind. There's the kickoff, and boy, the wind just kills him. Catch made at the 25, 30, room, 35, 37-yard line. There's P.J. Scales on the return, and Johns Hopkins will take over 1st and 10. We're in the first quarter here in Alliance, 2:44 to go. It's a 14-7 Mount Union lead as the wind continues to howl here in the Carnation City.
Ricky Levac made a nice special teams tackle there, the freshman out of CVCA. Mm-hmm. He's got a brother there that's a pretty good quarterback. They seem to have a lot of Levacs.
Very good quarterback.
He is.
James Ranello in the Blue Jays, 1st and 10. Mount leads at 14-7 deep into the first quarter. Ranello back to throw. It's a long out sideline, incomplete. Try to get it to Robbie Enright. Good coverage by Liebler.
Yeah, so they have Enright, who's kind of their more possession, like Brandon Stokely type wide receiver, and then they've got Crotty and and Tallarico, who they like to get into space.
Trips to the right. Caleb almost came across the line. Ranello back to throw over the middle. Incomplete. Some combat down there with the big tight end Leger, but Janssens was there for the Raiders along with Marcus Jackson.
Do you see Leger standing next to Marcus Jackson?
Yeah. I was looking at him next to Brandon. I'm thinking, holy cow, this guy is a giant.
I mean, he is huge.
He's a mountain. He really is. 6'5", 240 out of Houston, Texas. Back to throw L. Pressure's on. Caleb Brown brings him down. Big sack back at the 28-yard line. That's a loss of 9 on the play. Hello, Caleb.
Caleb Brown didn't just bring him down. He threw him down like a rag doll. Just bull rushed the right tackle, and if he wasn't going to get to him, Sam, the left tackle was holding on for dear life, waiting. I mean, he's tugging on Rossi Moore's jersey, trying to get into the backfield there. That 1-2 punch of Caleb off one side and Rossi off the other, there's probably not a better pass rush combination in the country than that.
So Johns Hopkins will punt the football away. Now this is into the wind, it looks like here. A little go. He just went end over end line driver. He gets a pretty good hop. It'll go out of bounds at the Purple Raider 31-yard line. So not a bad effort with the win there by Chase Alley, number 98.
I don't know how much time is left in the quarter. Is it near the end?
1:39 still.
Thank you.
14-7 Mount Union. Raiders with 2 timeouts. Blue Jays with 3.
I know you've said it multiple times. I've been focusing on other things because I can't see the scoreboard today.
I tell you what, though, I like this booth that we're in.
It's so much nicer.
Johnny and I have got 3 times the room today than we have during the regular season. So
I can't tell what type of deodorant we're
good
wearing.
Stuff.
That's a good thing.
Play action. TJ is going to shovel it to Darnell, 35-40. Look at Darnell Williams go. First down, Mount Union, all the way out to the Raiders, 43. It got 12 yards on the play. That was just a backyard football play right there.
I think growing up in the backyard of any area of Northeast Ohio, we all kind of did that little flip play there where you realize, wow, I'm slower than the guy in front of me. I better get it to my friend who's quicker.
Yep. That's what TJ did there, and Darnell did the work. First down, Mount Union at their 43. Raiders on front, 14-7. To Shields to throw. He's going to roll right. TJ looking downfield. Fires for Tyrell. Caught it at the 22-yard line. First down, 21 yards on the gain. TJ to Tyrell. Stick mover, Purple Raiders. Man, holy smokes, what a play.
What a catch. He's already been on the ESPN top 10 list this year for his catches. Just went right over the corner there. The ball was thrown perfectly to Luka Lutzel. That corner that was one-on-one in coverage with him had no chance. Ball thrown to the outside shoulder. Just Tyrell is so good on the outside. One of the best wide receivers we've seen in recent years, and that includes Wayne Ruby.
Echeverry in motion, gets the throw in the flat, taken down at the 24-yard line. That's going to be a loss of around 3 yards on the play. They put Tyler in motion. They threw it to him in the flat, and not much movement there. That was Craddock on the tackle, Oliver Craddock for Johns Hopkins, number 47, the linebacker for the Blue Jays.
By the way, you keep in mind this scoring defense is 3rd in the nation for Johns Hopkins, giving up just 11 a ball game. So Mount on pace to put 21 on them if they can here in this quarter.
The Shields in the gun. Fakes to Echeverry. TJ's going to keep it himself. It's, oh, my Lord, he got hammered at the 19-yard line. Oh, my goodness. He got right back up. But watch this hit at the end.
Yeah, that was Craddock, the linebacker. Again.
Got hit high, got hit low, and probably a good thing they've got a break coming up as we have played one quarter here at Mount Union. It's 14-7 Purple Raiders, Division III National Semifinals. John and I will be back with more Purple Raider football at 1310 WDPN.
For over 80 years, Bonford Glass has been the expert when it comes to glass. You can count on the professionals at Bonford's for the latest techniques in glass repair, like the Aegis windshield repair system. The Aegis system can repair small chips in your windshield before they grow into big headaches. This revolutionary process takes less than an hour and can easily restore your windshield to its original strength. In fact, the Aegis windshield repair system is so effective that most insurance companies will waive the deductible and cover the entire amount of the repair, saving you and your insurance company up to 80% of the cost of a windshield replacement. The Aegis windshield repair system, just one of the expert repairs from Bonford Glass. They'll help you save money and make your windshield safer. Bonford Glass. Call 330-823-0450 or stop by at 30 South Union Avenue in Alliance.
We back?
Yeah.
Okay, we're back here in Alliance. Boy, it's quiet. 14-7 is the score. I don't think we're back.
No, we are.
Are we?
Hey, man, good to see you. What brings you out here today? Need to pick up a few tools. You? I need new kitchen cabinets, countertops, maybe even a whole new kitchen, but I can't get any help or find what I need in this place. You need to go to Robertson's for that. Robertson's Kitchen and Bath Gallery is an American Standard plumbing registered showroom, and their knowledgeable consultants have the training and expertise to actually help you get what you need without breaking your budget.
Visit Robertson Kitchen and Bath at 2155 West Main Street in the Alliance Industrial Park, or visit them online at robertsonkitchenandbath.com, where amazing meets affordable.
Now we're back here in Alliance. 15 minutes in. 14-7 Mount Union, Sam Berkman, John Bazika. Welcome back here at 1310 WDPN and streaming live at Q92radiosports.com. Purple Raiders looking good so far today, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And we talked about this Johns Hopkins defense giving up only on an average around 11 points a game. Mounts put 14 on the board. And we're just about ready to go for the second quarter here at Kara Stadium. Johns Hopkins back out on defense. Here come the Purple Raiders. 3rd down and 8. The Sheep's going to throw it. Back to throw. It's incomplete for Turner down at the 9-yard line. Oh, that was open too, but could not make the hookup to Nicky Turner, number 16, wide receiver for the Raiders. Now, this is going to be interesting. Mike Franklin is coming on for the field goal. This is going to be a 36-yard attempt, maybe 37, hash mark to the left. And folks, I'd love to be able to tell you the wind's going left, it's going right, it's going sideways. I have no idea.
He should have this wind at his back. This wind should be at his back.
I'm hoping.
If it's not, this is a really tricky kick.
There's the snap, there's the spot, there's the kick. On the way, it's good. Squeezed it in the left upright. Well, that wind did something to it, but it counts, and it's 3, and it's 17-7 Mount Union.
Man, I'd love to see.
I'd like to see it behind the.
I know they have a camera
shot
there in the corner of the end zone, and I definitely think that ball hooked a little bit from right to left, just based on the visual of it. It looked like he snuck it in, and of course we're not going to get another visual look at it. The one time we really, really want a visual look at what it looked like, but
I mean, you got an end zone camera. Let's see that. So 17-7 Mount Union, 14:52 to go here in the first half of play.
Telling us all about Luke Lenahan from North Central.
Well, North Central could be waiting in the wings if both take care of their business today. North Central, of course, here in Mount Union. Some light snow flurry activity now, but the sun is still out. The big puffy clouds. We've got the lights have been on since about 9 o'clock this morning. But snow-covered field hours ago is just completely gone now, and all been shoveled and shoved off to the end zone area off the track on both sides of the stadium. Yvonne Merrick to kick the ball off for the Mount Union Purple Raiders. There's a pretty good boot. It's going to be taken at the 10-yard line. Left hash return for Tallarico, and they bottle him up and bring him down at the 11.5, 12-yard line. Good coverage downfield for the Purple Raiders. It looked like Ethan Pitelack, number 45, got there first.
After that first drive, I kind of thought that Mount Union and Johns Hopkins were similar in terms of level of speed, but Mount Union appears to be the quicker team just to the naked eye right now. But as you know, that's always capable of changing throughout the contest. We'll see how, it's a big drive for Johns Hopkins here.
No doubt. So James Ranello, the senior quarterback, in the shotgun for the Blue Jays. He'll go back to throw. He steps up in the pocket. He fires over the middle. Caught at the 42-yard line on a first down. Now they're going to say no. Incomplete. Good call. Ball in and out of the hands of the wide receiver, Cole Crotty. It'll bring up second down.
Man, I was going to say that's such a tough play, but Roland came across, made a nice hit, the safety. And the reason why that happened, Sam, is that Crotty had a step on his guy, but the wind that Ranello is throwing into held that ball up, because Crotty would have had a step and probably gone, at least another 20, 30 yards.
But it ends up being a second down and 10 for the Blue Jays. Trips to the right, tailback left. Ranello back to throw. A little crossing route caught at the 15, shaken away at the 20 to the 24-yard line. That's a first down for the Blue Jays. That is Robbie Enright, the sophomore wide receiver. Good run after the catch. And a first down for the young man from Minio School in Atherton, California.
Man, he just threw aside Brandon Jansen's safety. That's an impressive move there by Enright. And again, he's more their possession guy on the outside. Tight end either way here.
Ranello hands it off. Tailback, 25, 30, 31-yard line for Andrew Rich. 5'8", senior at a Newman, Georgia Heritage High School.
Sam, if I were Coach Wadika on this sideline for Johns Hopkins, I would find every way possible to get big number 88, Leger, involved. That tight end, I'd find every way possible to get that guy the ball.
Ranello in the gun, 2nd and 4. Motion to the left is Linder. Handoff coming this way. 35, breaking tackles, 45 midfield to the Mount Union 46-yard line. Oh, Andrew Rich put a couple of moves on a couple of Mount Union would-be tacklers, and it didn't end well for the Raiders there, and a first down for the Blue Jays.
It was a counter going right, went back left, made one guy miss, made Jansen's miss, and eventually Jazz Jackson, the linebacker, some 20 yards down the field, chased him down.
Rich again gets the carry, bulldozing his way down to the Mount Union 41-yard line.
And he is not very big and not very impressive to look at, but a quick first step and great vision.
Johns Hopkins going tempo. Rich again over the theft, and Brossie Moore brings him down at the 40-yard line.
I think they went to that
one too many. You're right. Third time was not the charm for Johns Hopkins. So Rich will come out of the ball game. Robbie Enright, the wide receiver, will check in for the Blue Jays.
They're 2 for 3 on third downs. This is a third and short, and see, you got Tallarico wide right. You got Schroeder out there inside of him in the slot. We'll see where they go.
Leger going to come in motion. Set just off the tight end side to the left. Romello will run it himself. He's got more than enough. Inside the 35 to the Raider 33. Needed 3. He got 7. First down, Johns Hopkins.
I think you saw the same thing I did there, but they basically just used Leger and brought him in, and they sent him right at Rossi Moore and said, go and block that guy. And not even Rossi, as good a pass rusher as he is, or as good a defensive guy as he is could make that play there.
Mount Union 17, Johns Hopkins 14, 11:30 to go in the first half of play. There's a handoff to the tailback. That's Schroeder. Picks his way inside the 30 down to the Mount Union 29-yard line for a gain of 4. Jackson was over there for the Raiders.
I'd like to know what it means, but Rossi Moore was playing an air guitar before that last play at his outside linebacker spot. I'd like to know what that means.
Maybe he was still celebrating his tackle before that. I don't know.
Been.
Trips to the right, slot left for the Blue Jays. 2nd and 6, Johns Hopkins at the Mount 28. Brunello back to throw, steps up in the pocket. There he goes again. 25, 24, 23. Taken down at the Mount Union 22. Another scramble by the quarterback and another Johns Hopkins first down.
So Johns Hopkins obviously known for lots of things, one of them being that it's one of the best medical schools in the nation. I think it takes a very heady kid in today's conditions to know not to throw that ball into the wind downfield.
Twins right, slot left. Johns Hopkins first down and 10 at the Purple Raider 22-yard line. Raiders 17, Blue Jays 7. Second quarter action. 10:15 clock running. Brunello back to throw again. He looks over the middle. Got a man. Incomplete. Leger, the tight end, at the 10-yard line. I don't know if that ball sailed and it went right. Leger went to the ground. Maybe lost his footing. Maybe a combination of both, but it was incomplete.
I mean, he looks like... Folks, the best way I can say it is that it looks like they've got a roster of normal Division III kids, and then they've got, like, Rob Gronkowski just dressed in a Johns Hopkins uniform. I mean, he is just a different size and makeup than the other guys out there.
Blue Jays going to go trips to the right this time. Leger to the left. Brunello back to throw. Looking at the right, it's a flat pass. It's caught by Schroeder at the 20. Got away, and Weston Arthur and company finally ride him down. But not before it's going to be down to around the 18-yard line of Mount Union.
You think Weston Arthur drove the new truck into the stadium today?
I was waiting for a chance to get that in, maybe after a tackle or a big play, but we haven't had that opportunity yet. But congratulations to Weston Arthur, courtesy of the Pat McAfee show and his group of characters. He got the boom hit of the year, and he got himself a brand new truck. So congratulations to Weston Arthur, and really representing and showing off the Mount Union football program on a national scale.
Cast of characters is a kind way of saying it.
Brunello's going to fake the pitch. Now he's going to run it, and he got him at the, we'll call it the 14-yard line. And I believe for the Purple Raiders, that was Ryan Poundstone, number 36. Boy, the deeper we go into the year, John, we're seeing guys that we really haven't seen a lot all season long. And they're stepping up and making plays, and now full sale substitutions for Mount. They'll bring in 7 new players, and 7 will come out.
Lots of different guys in here for Johns Hopkins, too.
Play clock is down to 5. Johns Hopkins 4th and 2 at the Raider 14-yard line. Going to go under center, Ranello. He's going to go back to throw. He pump fakes. Now he lets you go into the end zone. Contact incomplete. No flag. Great defensive play by Liebler. And the Purple Raiders will take over 1st and 10. And they get the Blue Jays off the field on a 4th down.
A 4th and 2. I don't really understand the one-on-one fade or hitch and go type play to the outside. I think there's a time to run that play and a time not to, especially when you're into the wind and you have to make a play like that. And second time that Zach Liebler has really been aggressive on the outside on Crotty. And again, Sam, you need 2 yards. Why are you throwing the ball 20 yards down the field, especially from the right hash to the left numbers? Into the wind, too.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what they were going at there. I thought it was a little bit odd that Ranello got under center for about 5 or 6 ticks, and then he went back into the shotgun.
I thought at first maybe they were going to go hard count and then call a timeout and then talk about it. But you've had success moving the ball, and I mean, heck, Sam, with a touchdown here, Mount Union's in a You hate to say
a decent spot. We'll say decent.
24-7 looks pretty good, but I think kind of a missed opportunity there if you're Johns Hopkins. Could have really played that out differently, and now you got to put the onus back on your defense, which is one of the big pieces that's gotten you here, but they've shown an inability so far to be able to stop Mount Union in any way. And most notably of that, Sam, is that Mount Union has been money on fourth down, 3 for 3 on fourth down. And now this little bit of snow flurry that's picking up, you wonder what the effect of this is going to have on the game.
So 8:29 to go. 17-7 Mount Union. Purple Raiders will get the ball and take over 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line after holding the Blue Jays on a 4th and 2. As John mentioned, a little bit of snow flurry activity here at the stadium.
I'll be interested to see if they take a deep shot here, because I think that Mount Union has had guys that have had steps on the outside, Nicky Turner in particular on that one drive, but the wind caught that ball up in the air. You wonder now, with the wind at his back, seemingly, will Mount's offense take a shot downfield?
1st and 10 Raiders at their own 14-yard line. TJ gives it to Echeverry. Tyler, 15. Got the corner, 15, 20, 25, 30. Look at him go down the sidelines and out of bounds. Tyler Echeverry to the 35. He picked up 21 yards and a first down. Tyler Echeverry, 2nd, 3rd, 4th year, coming around that corner. Picked up a first down for the Purple Raiders. 17-7 the lead for Mount. We're in the second quarter in Alliance. Division III National Semifinal winner goes to Houston for the championship in a couple of weeks. 7:58 clock running in the first half. TJ gets the ball back to throw, looking for Tyrell Sanders, and the wind just played tricks with it, and it falls harmlessly out of bounds, incomplete.
I was going to say, you could take the shot downfield, which they just did, or you could give it to your running back who scored 27 times this year. That also works pretty well. The Bob Packard offensive back of the year. He's been outstanding this year. Career highs at every mark, and you wondered how they would replace some of the guys they've had before, and Tyler's fit in pretty well.
Yep, he sure has. Echeverry now behind his quarterback, gets the handoff. He runs it over the right side, 35, 40, 45 to midfield to the Johns Hopkins 49. There's your man. First down, Mount Union.
And it's really impressive, too, that Mount continues to find guys like this, because you think through the backs. I mean, back to the Nate Kamicks and the Chuck Moores of the world, and down through the years, some of the other guys they've had, they seem to have always been able to plug and put somebody into that spot that is successful. And it obviously starts up front, too. They have a great offensive line.
1st and 10 Purple Raiders at the Blue Jay 49. TJ gives it to Echeverry, and he had nowhere to go there. 1, 2, 3 of the Blue Jays. 47, Oliver Craddock, and 55, Will Seibert on the tackle for the Blue Jays. Loss of 2, 2nd down and 12. Every once in a while, you're just not going to have anywhere to run. That's what happened there.
Well, and if you look to the left end zone, all 13 of the national championship flags are blowing at a brisk pace.
Look at the tailgate lot. Look at the flags blowing over there.
Oh, it's crazy.
Wow. A little bit of snow flurry here. In the sun, mind you. Throw to Echeverry in the flat. Tyler at the 50. He'll go down at the 50-yard line. Defensive stop by Tayu Iluga-Reed for Johns Hopkins.
God bless you.
Thank you. Or excuse me. All right. And just like that, we're behind the sticks now. Boy, it was looking good there for a couple of minutes.
Well,
here comes the Johns Hopkins crowd. 6:08 to go first half. Mount Union 17-7, they lead it, but the Raiders 3rd and 11 at midfield going right to left.
0 for 4 on 3rd down. They're 3 for 3 on 4th down, so they haven't converted a 3rd down yet.
Let's just get at least half of it back here and see where we go. To Shields to throw over the middle. Incomplete for Jerry Cooper down at the 30-yard line. That would have been a tough catch to make. Pretty good coverage down there by Jack Schonendemeyer. Well, you got a punt here. Right?
Yeah, the punt is the right call though, because now you're in a game of field position, and with the wind that is clearly at your favor at this point. Franklin, who doesn't get the punt often, but when he does, he's very effective. He's had a lot of kicks that have gone inside the 20 this year.
Big extended timeout coming up after this punt by Franklin. Gets it up into the air, and a late fair catch signal at the Blue Jay 13 and a timeout on the field. 5:39 to go in the first half. Mount Union 17, Johns Hopkins 7. John and I will be back with more on 1310 WDPN.
Still here on WDPN and playing through this break. We'll just wait here for a moment until we can take a break. But Mount Union and Johns Hopkins here in the second quarter with 5:34 in the quarter, and Johns Hopkins going to have a 1st and 10 coming up at their own 13. And we will now take that break. It's 17-7 Mount Union with 5:34 in the second quarter. Timeout.
Lori's Mount Union Diner in Alliance crafts mouth-watering breakfast and lunch before your very eyes. Committed to quality and culinary artistry, they serve satisfying meals showcasing love. Operating on a cash-only basis, keeping things simple so you can focus on savoring the delectable flavors. Beyond exceptional food, the diner transforms your meal into an engaging show. The kitchen is the stage. Come for the food, stay for the delightful performance at 2300 South Union Avenue in Alliance.
Hey, man, good to see you. What brings you out here today? Need to pick up a few tools. You? I need new kitchen cabinets, countertops, maybe even a whole new kitchen, but I can't get any help or find what I need in this place. You need to go to Robertson's for that. Robertson's Kitchen and Bath Gallery is an American Standard plumbing registered showroom, and their knowledgeable consultants have the training and expertise to actually help you get what you need without breaking your budget.
Visit Robertson Kitchen and Bath at 2155 West Main Street in the Alliance Industrial Park, or visit them online at robertsonkitchenandbath.com, where amazing meets affordable.
We return back in here as it is a 1st and 10 for Johns Hopkins at their own 13-yard line, trailing by a score of 17-7, and Ranello out of the shotgun back to pass on the first play, and he's going to be sacked in the backfield. As sack there coming off of the end, it appeared to be Rossi Moore, who made a play, as well as Von Factor coming in off of the defensive line, and a loss of big yardage back to the 6-yard line, and it brings up a 2nd down and 17. Sam?
All right, Rossi. Sometimes those TV timeouts aren't long enough when you need them to be. 17-7, never fails. 17-7, Johns Hopkins trailing the Purple Raiders. 5 minutes to go in the first half. We'll see if the Raiders can keep the Blue Jays down here at this end of the field, get a punt, and maybe put one in the end zone before we're done in the first half. Ranello back to throw. He's got all day. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. Is he going to run? Is he going to throw? He's going to run. 10, and boom, taken down at the 13-yard line. Good open field tackle. Caleb Renard, number 33.
I have to watch here. Caleb Brown just ran off the field a little bit. I don't know. Ginger, he's kind of moving on one of his 2 legs. I can't quite tell. Dozie Akpala coming in place for him here on this play.
Trying to find Caleb over there. All right, 3rd down and 10. Let's get off the field here. 3rd down and 10, Johns Hopkins at their own 13-yard line. First half here in Alliance, Division III, national semifinal. Winner to the title game in Division III college football in a couple of weeks. James Ranello, he's going to run it. He's in trouble. He got out of trouble. 10-15. No, he lunges forward, but he's going to be short of the first down by a yard at the Johns Hopkins 23-yard line. I don't see any way in the world you screw around here if you're Johns Hopkins and go for it.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, it's a yard, and you probably figure you've gotten this far with, being aggressive to this point. They're going to bring in the extra tight ends, 86 and 80. They're going
to call time.
Yeah. I was debating if they were going to go for it there or not, but Sam, I really do think they're considering it.
Yeah, I would agree. But man, if you don't get it down here, you're just inviting a 17-point deficit. But the timeout is called with 3:24 to go. Here in the first half, Purple Raiders in front of Johns Hopkins, 17-7. Sam Berkman, John Bazika with you today. Good to be with you on 1310 WDPN, Q92radiosports.com, our Q92 Sports Facebook page and YouTube channel. A lot of different ways you can. You heard the official come out and say official TV timeout, and you heard the moans and the groans and the come ons from the Blue Jay faithful sitting outside beneath us here at the stadium. 10-point lead, Mount Union. 4th and 1. Actually, yeah, that's a full yard they're going to need. If they do go for it, John, I'm thinking you keep the ball in the hands of your quarterback.
Yeah.
Let him do it.
I mean, there's multiple schools of thought to picking up a yard. And I know it's, some teams have a science down to it. I do see the punter out there in Paxton, it would appear, keeping his leg loose. But I'm not sure. I don't know if that's just sometimes as a coach, you tell your punter or you tell your kicker, hey, we want it to look like we're doing this. We want them to think this, so that maybe they'll waste a timeout and think twice about it. I don't know. There's a lot of game playing that goes on at this level that I'm not a huge fan of a lot of times. And I think sometimes teams overthink themselves in situations like this. If you feel confident about going for it, and which it appears they do,
they're going to go. Looks like,
then that's what you decide to go for. And this is a gamble here that Coach Wadika is taking. And if he gets it, he'll have a bus ride home back to Baltimore that'll make him feel brilliant. And if he doesn't, he'll feel terrible.
All right, Blue Jays going to go for it. 4th and 1. 4th and 1, and the Purple Raiders are going to call a timeout. By the way, up in Happy Valley, Penn State 14, SMU nothing, 8:48 to go in the first half. Ponies with the ball, driving deep in Penn State territory, so they're trying to make a game of it there. Buckeyes in Tennessee at 8 o'clock tonight. That's the prime time playoff game. 4 o'clock today. Texas and Clemson down in Austin, where it is going to be about 60 degrees and sunshine today for college football.
You think this game will be done in time for the Buckeye game?
Oh, I wonder. Hey, I see your Otterbein Cardinals hired a new coach.
Yeah,
I'm a little surprised there.
Well, you go 1-9. I think it affords you the opportunity to do what you want with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Dave Marquis coming in, and I don't know. They had we talked about it all year, and even Coach Jeff Dart talked about it. They had a lot of talent. They just weren't in the right places.
Yep. All right, we'll try this again. 4th and 1. Leger in motion. They're going to hand it off to Schroeder. Pushing. What kind of a spot did he get? I believe it's going to be a Johns Hopkins first down, and it is. Well, they rolled the dice, John. And they ran a pretty vanilla play, but they got a good enough push up front, and the Blue Jays pick up a first down at their own 23-yard line.
Yeah, they were 0 for 2 on 4th down before that, and kind of came down to where 88 was. They moved Leger right into the middle of the line there and just ran right behind him.
Mount with a 1 timeout left, Johns Hopkins with 2, and don't forget the coveted 2-minute timeout coming up. So that will stop things again as well. Brunello in the gun, play action. He's going to go back to throw over the middle on a cross. It's caught. 40, 42 to the 43-yard line. Cole Crotty with the catch and a first down for Johns Hopkins. Now Mount Union's got to buckle down here a little bit in the final 2:25 of this first half of play.
That's an impressive throw. Deep cross like that into the wind. Kind of hit that ball right underneath where the wind was. That's a really nice throw.
Very impressive throw by Ranello. He'll go back to throw it again. Pressure's on. He steps into it, throws it over the middle for Crotty off his hands at the Mount Union 20-yard line. Weston Arthur is angry at somebody. I don't know if Mount blew a coverage or somebody didn't roll over for a safety help, but Weston Arthur was just wringing his hands in disgust as he came back to the huddle.
You know, a lot of these short quarterbacks around, like, and I say short, he's 6 foot, but a lot of these shorter quarterbacks, you can tell they probably spend a lot of time watching Drew Brees and Baker Mayfield because they have the same type of footwork of keeping their eyes active.
2nd and 10 is going to be a run by Ranello to midfield to the Purple Raider 48. He's going to be short of the first down by 2 yards, and that will bring us to the 2-minute timeout. Purple Raiders 17, Blue Jays 7. Stick around. The halftime report coming up. We can only hope Jeff Mears recorded an hour-long newscast for us during the halftime break.
I don't know if there's an hour worth of news in the Alliance area today.
Well, you can make some stuff up.
Oh, yeah.
That's what.
Hey, they're not supposed to know that. That's the trick of the trade that we don't tell them about, right?
So 17-7 Mount Union, the other semifinal today, Susquehanna at North Central Illinois. That's at about 3:10 today. And the two winners will meet in Houston for the Stag Bowl on Sunday night. I believe that's January the 5th?
It is. Susquehanna.
Where are they located? I keep thinking Georgia, but I know that's not right.
Where do you think they're located, Sam?
I think Georgia, but I have no idea.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. So I was way off. Whereabouts in PA?
It is in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, which is in the middle of nowhere. It is between State College.
My gosh!
And Philadelphia.
Well, State College is out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So okay. Of course, we know where North Central is. That's in Naperville, Illinois.
So riddle me this, NCAA. Riddle me this while we're at it.
I love it when John gets angry at the NCAA. Go ahead.
Riddle me this. You've got Johns Hopkins, who's here from Baltimore. You've got North Central, who's here from Naperville, Illinois. You've got Susquehanna, who's here from Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, and Mount Union, who's here from Ohio. And you're playing the national championship game in Houston, Texas. When you come up with a good answer for that, please, I will give you my number. I'll give you my email. It's john.bozica93@gmail.com. I just gave it out. Email me. Let me know why it's in Houston, Texas. If you can give me a good answer, I'll be willing to accept it. But knowing the NCAA, there will not be a good answer.
Well, John, think of all the economic revenue boost that the city of Houston will get from that.
From a Division III.
Because they don't get enough economic revenue to begin with in Houston.
Yes, a town
with the largest growing city in the United States of America.
A town with 4 downtowns and one that's built all on shopping and revenue. No, it's not a lot going on there.
3rd down and 2, Blue Jays. Schroeder gets the carry, got a first down. Thank goodness he got tripped up at the 43. He might have went another 15 yards. So 1st down to Johns Hopkins. Now Mount Union here, they got to dig in. They got to dig in for the final 1:55 in the first half. They've got a 17-7 lead. If you can shut the door here, go into the locker room up 10, you got to be feeling pretty good about yourself as you would head into the 3rd quarter here at home. But you must not let Johns Hopkins get on the board here.
And in the case of Johns Hopkins, points is what you want.
Trips to the right, rolling right, pass is caught wide open. 35-30 down to the 29-yard line. There's E.J. Tallarico. He got away from either Roland or Cook. He got away from Cook, and Johns Hopkins now all of a sudden is down to the Mount Union 29-yard line.
You know, a score here for Johns Hopkins feels like a win in the first half because if you're Mount Union, you probably feel like you should be up about 28-7.
James Ranello, a 7-step drop. He looks back, fires caught in heavy traffic. Schroeder got it 25-20. He's down to the 19 and a first down for Johns Hopkins. How about that play?
How about Ranello hanging in there until the 11th hour of all 11th hours to make that pass? Had Rossi Moore in his face. Good to see Caleb Brown back out there, but dangerous play. That was either going to be a gain of 10 or a loss of 12.
And we are under a minute to go now. Blue Jays first and 10 at the Mount Union 19. Ranello gives it to Schroeder, picking his way inside the 15 to the 14-yard line where he'll be taken down. Remember, Johns Hopkins with 2 timeouts left. Mount Union with 1. Clock is ticking down, 43, 42, 41. Blue Jays up to the line. Second down and 5 at the Mount Union 14, going left to right. Ranello in the gun. Twins right, slot left. Ranello looks right, got away, throws it on the run. It's caught inside the 5 at the 4-yard line by Crotty. Penalty flag. Oh, what do we have here? Maybe a little hold on Johns Hopkins. Yes.
Wow.
Oh, is that big? But that's a legit call. I saw it with the naked eye. And I think it was Caleb Brown who was on the other end of that hold or whatever that thing was. Let's check it out on replay, John. Look at that. He got his face mask completely turned around, and he almost still got to the quarterback, Ranello.
So this is also a debate here for Ranello because he's saying, didn't Brown get me by the horse collar, which should mean, the penalties cancel each other.
And they put the clock right back into motion already. 15, 14, second and 15. Ranello fires it right side. Oh, what a grab at the 9-yard line. My goodness, what a catch by Tallarico. And now Johnny Rowland is down at the 9. That'll stop the clock with 9. So that was the worst case scenario there. A great catch, a stoppage, and now Mount with a player down.
Well, now if you're Johns Hopkins, not just also Johnny Rowland down, but also Jazz Jackson slow to get up. He's walking off the field. So it's a first and goal coming up at the 9. And now if you're Johns Hopkins,
Johnny Rowland, I was first looking at an ankle or a knee. Now it appears it might be his hand, wrist. So they're attending to him down at about the 9-yard line. Meanwhile, 9 seconds left to go. Johnny's up and looks like he's okay. So that's good news there. Let's reset. Mount Union 17, Johns Hopkins 7. 9 seconds to go in the first half. The Blue Jays, coming out of this stoppage, will have a first and goal at the Mount Union 9. Oh, they're going to put 12 seconds on the clock now. And that was just an injury timeout, correct?
Yeah.
No, now Johns Hopkins
so
will
Johns
use
Hopkins
the timeout.
had to take the timeout.
So they're with 1. The Raiders have 1. 12 seconds in the first half, and Mount leads at 17-7.
Well, now the other element to this too, Sam, is that if you're Johns Hopkins, you've got 1 timeout left, and you've probably got, with 12 seconds, 2 realistic plays from the 9. So you want to fire 2 passes into the end zone, but you also want to be cognizant of the fact that you want to still give yourself a chance at kicking the field goal, and you want to set that up for yourself.
They want something down here.
Yeah, you can't come away empty-handed, because if you come away empty-handed, that's a major win for Mount Union.
Meanwhile, at Penn State, the Nittany Lions 21, SMU nothing. The Ponies were going in, so something must have happened. Must have been maybe a scoop and score, a long return or something, but Penn State leads at 21 nothing now with about 5 minutes to go in the first half of that playoff game. All right, here we go. Crowd comes to their feet here.
Leger, wide right.
One against Poundstone.
How about that matchup? Big linebacker out there.
Trips left for the Blue Jays. Leger is to the right. 12 seconds of the first half. Mount by 10. Ranello back to throw, looking wide open over the middle. Oh. Touchdown, Blue Jays. What a grab by Cole Crotty in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Johns Hopkins.
What a catch and what a throw on a cross in the end zone.
Ooh.
Man, a bullet fired over the linebacker there. Brandon Jansen's the safety came in last moment. I beg your pardon. Tried to make that play, and Liebler just lost his step on him. Man, that's a great catch.
That's a heck of a play.
Wow.
And it's a 17-13 ball game, and the PAT is coming up. Oh, they didn't get the kickoff. The kick ended up going into the line of scrimmage, and the PAT will go awry. It will remain a 17-13 game. Wow, will that come into play down the road?
How about that drive, though? 13 plays, 87 yards, 5:25 taken off the clock. That is Sam, right before the end of the half, that's a gotta-have-it drive and a big boy drive at that.
So the kick, well, they had a tough time getting the snap down, and then the kick pretty much went right into the line.
Yeah, Ethan.
Poundstone got great penetration by Mount, and they couldn't get the kick up, and it remains a 4-point game with 9 seconds left in the first half. 17-13 Mount Union.
Yeah, Ethan Lowler, the holder and backup quarterback from Frisco, Texas, he had a hard time with getting that down there, but man, what a drive, Sam. What a response by Johns Hopkins. Now 10 of 17, Ranello is 112 yards in the touchdown, and Johns Hopkins outgaining Mount at the half, 232 to 214. So despite the scoreboard saying a 4-point Mount Union lead, Johns Hopkins,
they got the momentum now.
Oh yeah, they're not just taking punches, they're throwing punches now too.
So 9 seconds left in the first half. 17-13 Mount Union. Well, we knew coming in this was going to be a battle, and that's what we got. Short kickoff, fumbled around, and the Raiders finally pick it up at the 33-yard line with 7 seconds to go. And, of course, the obvious question here now is, John, do you try to do anything at all here?
You know, this has been the big question that you and I have had of Mount all year at times, and that I think has made things tough sometimes.
It's the lack of the home run receiver.
Well, it's that, but it's also like on that kickoff there, like it was a squib on the ground, and there was just like a lack of focus and wanting to go and get the ball, and like that type of stuff rears its head in games like this.
Shields in the gun. Straight handoff to Tyler. He'll be taken down at the 30, and that'll be it for the first half here in Alliance. So the Purple Raiders were kind of cruising with that 17-7 lead. Johns Hopkins goes 85 yards deep into the second quarter. They missed their PAT, but they've got some momentum going to the locker room, and the Raiders will have to reshuffle and regroup. One half of play in the books here in Alliance, Ohio. NCAA Division III College Football National Semifinal, and your score. The Mount Union Purple Raiders 17. Johns Hopkins Blue Jays 13. The big halftime report is coming up next on 1310 WDPN, streaming live at Q92radiosports.com.
Lori's Mount Union Diner in Alliance crafts mouth-watering breakfast and lunch before your very eyes. Committed to quality and culinary artistry, they serve satisfying meals showcasing love. Operating on a cash-only basis,
private. The village filed an investor update last month saying it had received a termination notice from the Chicago-based firm which owns the water park property. That, along with the filing of multiple mechanics liens, means the loan is technically in default. Work began on the Game Day Bay Park in 2022, but stopped earlier this year due to a lack of finances. North Canton firefighters responded to a house fire Thursday afternoon. Personnel were called just before the 3 o'clock hour to a home in the 1000 block of Knoll Street Southeast. Flames were seen coming from a front picture window. The occupants were not at home at the time. No one was injured. The cause is under investigation. Jackson Township and Greentown departments assisted at the scene. A Sebring man is sentenced to 24 months in prison stemming from the investigation of a stolen vehicle. Sebring police arrested 33-year-old Jonathan Cosgray late last December. Officers had received a tip a crossover utility vehicle was at his West California Avenue home. Police say a vehicle was found at the address matching the description of the reported stolen in the Goshen Township last April. Cosgray was found guilty of aggravated drug possession and receiving stolen property. A Youngstown man was arrested Thursday by members of the Northern Ohio Violent Fugitive Task Force. 29-year-old Sean Hamlet is charged with felonious assault for allegedly stabbing a neighbor outside a West Evergreen Avenue home the day before Thanksgiving. He was also wanted on a burglary charge from June. Members of the task force spotted Hamlet after setting up surveillance along Auburndale Avenue. He was captured after a foot chase. A 26-year-old man will be sentenced next month after pleading guilty to several counts. Rayvon Parker of Youngstown was charged with domestic violence, attempted felonious assault, and a weapons count. He was accused of assaulting a woman in Boardman in January 2022. He took the woman's vehicle and fled the scene. There were 7 children in the home at the time. Parker returned to the apartment in May. A neighbor testified she tried to take a gun from him, and it discharged during the scuffle. A deer removal program continues in the Mill Creek Metro Parks. Also continuing is a campaign by adjacent landowners to have the program stopped. Attorney Mark Dan, who represents the group, has filed a notice with the state Supreme Court to hear an appeal. The 7th District Court earlier upheld a lower court ruling saying the Parks District has the authority to hold the culling program, which includes targeted removals and a controlled hunt. The landowners argue the district does not have that authority and the hunt is a risk to their safety. Trumbull County Metro Parks Board of Commissioners will go ahead with a plan to tear down the Livingston Dam. The demolition has been put off since the decision was made in 2021. A group of Braceville Township residents opposing the plan says there are alternatives. Another group in favor wants the dam removed to alleviate flooding problems. The Levittsburg Dam is one of 9 to be removed on the Mahoning River. The Lowellville, Struthers, and Summit Street dams have already been taken down. Work on the Levittsburg Dam will begin next year. We will return you to the second half of today's game after this update from Mark Johnson. From the AM 1310 WDPN newsroom, I am Ryan Rainsberg.
All right, a few lingering flurries for your Saturday afternoon. Not much to worry about there. Cloudy sky. It's going to be windy and cold, 27 degrees for the high. Overnight, some early light snow, our low near 16. I am Mark J. Weather from News 5.
Go back and relive all the action with Q92 Sports on SoundCloud. Whether it's high school or University of Mount Union football and basketball, we've got you covered from 2016 through today. Catch every thrilling game and heart-pounding moment anytime you want. Q92 Sports is your go-to for local sports action. Find us on SoundCloud at Q92 Radio, and don't forget to stream all of our games live on Friday night at Q92Radiosports.com.
For over 80 years, Bonford Glass has been the expert when it comes to glass. You can count on the professionals at Bonford's for the latest techniques in glass repair, like the Aegis windshield repair system. The Aegis system can repair small chips in your windshield before they grow into big headaches. This revolutionary process takes less than an hour and can easily restore your windshield to its original strength. In fact, the Aegis windshield repair system is so effective that most insurance companies will waive the deductible and cover the entire amount of the repair, saving you and your insurance company up to 80% of the cost of a windshield replacement. The Aegis windshield repair system, just one of the expert repairs from Bonford Glass. They'll help you save money and make your windshield safer. Bonford Glass. Call 330-823-0450 or stop by at 30 South Union Avenue in Alliance.
Of all the ways to get ahead in life, we're one of them. And we're legal. The John Tesh Radio Show.
I'm John Tesh, and we couldn't be happier about bringing you intelligence for your life every day. We have a room full of researchers gathering the information and ideas you need to make your life simpler and better, and to make you the smartest person in the room.
You're just trying to be better. We're just trying to help. The John Tesh Radio Show.
Join me for music and intelligence for your life, 10 to 3, Monday through Saturday, only on AM 1310 WDPN.
It's intelligence for your life.
Lori's Mount Union Diner in Alliance crafts mouth-watering breakfast and lunch before your very eyes. Committed to quality and culinary artistry, they serve satisfying meals showcasing love. Operating on a cash-only basis, keeping things simple so you can focus on savoring the delectable flavors. Beyond exceptional food, the diner transforms your meal into an engaging show. The kitchen is the stage. Come for the food, stay for the delightful performance at 2300 South Union Avenue in Alliance. Hey everyone, it's Rex Combs, Rex in the Morning on AM 1310, inviting you to tune in Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. for unforgettable favorites, music news, and more. With myself, Clint Marshall on News and Sports, and Mark Johnson from News 5 giving us the weather forecast. Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m., Rex in the Morning, it's all about the music right here on AM 1310 WDPN.
You're listening to Mount Union Football on AM 1310 WDPN.
We return back in here at halftime. Mount Union leading 17-13 over Johns Hopkins in the Division III College Football National Semifinal. Winner of this game to take on the winner of North Central from Illinois and Susquehanna later today. That game to be played, I believe, in Naperville this afternoon at 3:30. First half here, and Johns Hopkins trailing by 4, but Mount Union probably feeling like it could be a lot better than just what it is. They had a ton of opportunities and came away empty-handed a couple times and just could never really kind of punch enough of a difference between them and Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins outgained them in the first half, 232 to 214. Mount Union had 107 rushing yards and 107 passing yards in the first half. Johns Hopkins 120 on the ground, 112 through the air. For Johns Hopkins, James Ranello, their leading rusher in the first half, 11 attempts, 55 yards. Andrew Rich, 4 for 35, and Jeff Schroeder with 8 for 30 and a touchdown. Ranello, 10 of 17 through the air, 112 passing, plus the touchdown. 4 receptions went to Cole Crotty. He caught the touchdown. Tallarico with 2 for 28, and Will Leger has been quiet so far in the game. Just 1 catch for 13 yards, but they obviously want to get their big tight end involved. Mount Union, Tyler Echeverry, 10 carries, 62 yards, and a score. Darnell Williams, just 1 carry in the first half for 31 yards. Darnell Williams has touched the ball twice in the first half, or maybe more than that. I think it's twice for sure, but the 2 times he touched it, great things happened for Mount Union. He had 68 yards on 2 plays, plus a touchdown. As for passing, it was TJ DeShields, 6 of 13 through the air, 82 yards. Noah Boudrick did come in and complete 1 pass for 25 yards. Tyrell Sanders, 2 catches, 66 yards. Sean Thomas, 1 for 25. Darnell Williams caught the 1 for 12. And Tyler Echeverry caught 2 passes, minus 2 yards on those plays. Highlights from the first half, it was pretty even, back and forth both ways. When you look at what Mount and what Johns Hopkins were able to do, and it was Mount that found the scoreboard first in the first quarter.
20, 25, go, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Purple Raiders, there's our guy. Darnell Williams into the end zone, touchdown, Mount Union.
31-yard touchdown by Darnell Williams, made it 7-0, but Johns Hopkins, 1 drive later, came right back.
It's going to be 3rd and goal just inside the Raider 2. And give to Schroeder. Schroeder's in. Touchdown, Johns Hopkins. Not much resistance there by the Raider defensive front, and Johns Hopkins is on the board. Exactly 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's 7-6 Purple Raiders.
Was a part of an 11-play, 70-yard drive, but Mount Union again, this all in the first quarter. They would score another touchdown in the first quarter. Tyler Echeverry for the 27th time this year.
He found Thomas. That's the good news. It's down to the 13-yard line. Here's Echeverry right up the middle. 15, 10, 5. He crosses the goal line and a touchdown. Officials say touchdown. I'm sure this will be a review. Here they come already out of the field. 13-7 Mount Union.
As you can tell, we're not a fan of the review and all the extra cameras that are here doing that today. But that would make it 14-7. Mount Union would add a field goal. Yvonne Merrick, 8 seconds into the second quarter, 36 yards, and then 9 seconds left in the first half. It was Johns Hopkins who, again, found the end zone.
Into the first half, Mount by 10. Mello back to throw, looking wide open over the middle. Touchdown, Blue Jays. What a grab by Cole Crotty in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Johns Hopkins.
Great play by Cole Crotty in the back of the end zone. Probably the grab of the game on either side. Only catch that might have been better was Tyrell Sanders' catch on the sideline earlier in the half, but a big, big touchdown before the end of the first half and made it a 4-point game heading into the halftime locker room. Again, halftime, Mount Union 17, Johns Hopkins 13. We'll take a timeout. Sam will come back and rejoin us, and we will get you set for the second half of this national semifinal.
Go back and relive all the action with Q92 Sports on SoundCloud. Whether it's high school or University of Mount Union football and basketball, we've got you covered from 2016 through today. Catch every thrilling game and heart-pounding moment anytime you want. Q92 Sports is your go-to for local sports action. Find us on SoundCloud at Q92 Radio, and don't forget to stream all of our games live on Friday night at Q92Radiosports.com.
Of all the ways to get ahead in life, we're one of them, and we're legal. The John Tesh Radio Show.
I'm John Tesh, and we couldn't be happier about bringing you intelligence for your life every day. We have a room full of researchers gathering the information and ideas you need to make your life simpler and better, and to make you the smartest person in the room.
You're just trying to be better. We're just trying to help. The John Tesh Radio Show.
Join me for music and intelligence for your life, 10 to 3, Monday through Saturday, only on AM 1310 WDPN.
It's intelligence for your life.
Hey everyone, it's Rex Combs, Rex in the Morning on AM 1310, inviting you to tune in Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. for unforgettable favorites, music news, and more. With myself, Clint Marshall on News and Sports, and Mark Johnson from News 5 giving us the weather forecast. Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m., Rex in the Morning, it's all about the music right here on AM 1310 WDPN.
The Q92 Sports Network is your home for the best coverage of high school and Mount Union football and basketball. Be sure you're following us on our social media. Just follow Q92 Sports on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and Threads. You'll know what games we'll be broadcasting week to week, and we drop photos and videos from all of our high school and Mount Union broadcasts. Be sure to follow Q92 Sports on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and Threads, and stay connected to the Q92 Sports Network.
You're listening to Mount Union Football on AM 1310 WDPN.
Back here at Windy Karis Stadium in Alliance at Mount Union, Sam Berkman, John Bazika, 1310 WDPN, Q92Radiosports.com. Don't forget, you can also listen to the broadcast on the Q92 Sports Facebook page and the Q92 Sports YouTube channel. 17-13, Raiders in front of Johns Hopkins. They want to shout out Lisa Gonzalez listening into the ball game today down in Columbus, and our good buddy Rob Ashby all the way out in sunny California tuned in listening to the Raiders today. So Lisa and Rob, we appreciate you listening in and rooting on the Raiders today on this Saturday afternoon here in Alliance, Ohio. All right. Wind has not died down one iota, so that's going to be with us the rest of the day. Raiders have a 4-point lead. Both teams have shown the ability to move the ball today. Both teams have shown the ability on occasion to make some pretty nice defensive plays. We did see Noah Boudry for one play today. Picked up a first down. It appeared that he maybe re-aggravated that injury. He's out there warming up now, playing catch with T-Day DeShields over on the sideline. Noah's kind of bounced around a little bit, and he looks okay there. I wonder if we'll see any more, a package or two with Boudry here in the second half coming up. But, boy, that was such a big scoring drive by the Blue Jays at the end of the first half, John. And obviously, in the best rooting interest of the Purple Raiders, you hope that did not give them a lot of momentum, Hopkins, because what was it? 13 plays, 85 yards, took almost 6 minutes off the clock, and they went right down the field and they scored. You know, thank goodness they missed the extra point, so it's a 4-point game. But well, you got to wonder now. Mount's defense is going to have to lock in here in the second half.
Yeah, I think a lot of that first half, Mount Union was able to kind of skirt by and, really kind of make things happen at the right time. And, for the sake of Johns Hopkins now, they get the ball to start this half. They get a chance to come out and, again, impose their will and try to take a lead in this game, which is something they've not had. And, we talked about it. How would they respond early in the game to not having the lead, something they've played with all postseason? They had literally never trailed before today, and now in this game, they seem fine with playing from behind. It does not seem to rattle them. And the Mount Union defense, Sam, they gave up 232 yards in that first half, and it was both on the ground, 120, and through the air. I don't know. I mean, Mount Union has had to make adjustments multiple times in second halves of games this year, and it'll just be interesting to see how this second half goes.
All right, second half underway. Raiders kick off into the wind, and a catch made at the 25, 30, 35. Down at the 35 is P.J. Scales. And that's where the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays will take over 1st and 10. Just getting cranked up here in the third quarter of play in the Carnation City. Winner goes to the NCAA Division III College Football Championship game in early January. So we certainly hope the Purple Raiders will be making the trip out to Houston. Now, cloud cover has rolled in, so not as bright as it was. The lights have been on since 9 o'clock this morning. Blue Jays 1st and 10 at their 35, going right to left. Boy, long handoff into the belly of Schroeder. Well, that was taking the RPO to the max. And Schroeder ended up keeping the football, and he was able to grind out around 3 yards, and we'll call it 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, they've done that a couple times today where they've had kind of like delayed handoffs like that have slowed up play, and it's still worked out every time for them. They still get 3 out of it.
Hello, back to throw. He looking left. He fires. Caught Leger, the big tight end at the 50. 45 to the 40. Leger running over tacklers to the Mount Union 29-yard line. We've talked about it all day, and there you go. Will Leger, 1st down and plenty more for Johns Hopkins. He is an absolute beast.
He is. I think the kids would call him a unit because 6'5", and what'd you say, Sam? 230, 240?
240 and every bit of it.
Just a dude.
Ranello in the gun, gives it Schroeder. There's a good tackle by the Purple Raiders. Coming up to make the play, Marcus Jackson. That'll be a loss of 2 back to the Purple Raider 31. We have not seen many TFLs today. Mount Union got one there.
Yeah, we've had the one play earlier in the game from Caleb Brown that he made that was really, really big, and Rossi Moore has been close and around the football. Von Factor made a play early in the game too, but I think a lot of that credit goes to Ranello. He just is really cognizant of not taking plays for losses.
2nd down and 12 for the Blue Jays at the Mount 31. Ranello back to throw, pressure's on. He fires over the middle, got Crotty, and it's almost intercepted in the end zone by Johnny Rowland. That was a dangerous play for Johns Hopkins.
He has been just, I guess, kind of threading that needle all day looking for Crotty in those situations. I'm just really impressed with his ability to still get the ball down the field in a wind like this, Sam. This is not an easy wind to throw.
No, it changes almost on every snap. Twins left, twins right, 4 wide, lone setback, back to throw. Brunello steps up in the pocket, over the middle for Crotty. He dropped the touchdown pass. Thank you, good Lord. Incomplete.
Man, can we talk about that ball placement there, too?
It's right there. Look at it.
That's in between the corner and the safety, and you got the spur linebacker and Weston Arthur covering underneath. And now this is not a gimme kick here. Left hash, what is this, 47 yards?
48-yard attempt on the left hash for J.P. Furman. See if the Raiders can get a hand on it, maybe. There's the snap. There's the spot. There's the kick. He's got plenty of leg, and he crushed it. And it's plenty good from 48 yards. Wow. J.P. Furman drills the field goal. And we've got a timeout on the field. Officials timeout. 13:02 to go, third quarter. Mount Union 17, Johns Hopkins 16. And wow. Last 2 times Hopkins has had the ball.
I mean, and you could argue too, Sam, that there was a drop touchdown there.
Oh, absolutely there was.
And the pass before it that was just a smidge high was also a great throw. So, I mean, Ranello, this kid's impressive.
Yes.
You know, you made the comment, Sam, and it's so apt that this win changes on every play, and it does. I mean, you just don't know what it's going to do. It's looked like, I think Sam made the comment earlier in the afternoon, folks. He said, you want to say it's blowing from right to left because that's what it commonly would look like to the naked eye. But then you start looking and you look at the field and you look at some of the hoodies that the players are wearing and coats that the coaches are wearing, and you see them getting blown in different directions. And, the snowflakes are moving in different directions. As a big fan of golf and a guy that's played it my whole life, a golfer would call this a swirling wind, which is that you normally look for downwind on holes, or you look for a cut wind or a fade wind or a draw wind. And if you were a golfer today, you would need every bit of your caddy to tell you exactly how to play shots into a wind like this.
The wind is taking it upon itself to wreak havoc on both these teams today. And both teams' fan bases who've come out in this brutal cold today. Game time temperature was 21. And I got to mention the wind chill is got to be 10, maybe a little bit lower than that. Because the wind has been very active since we stepped foot in the stadium today.
It says 26 right now, but I will tell you what the real feel. Man, has the Weather Channel made more money off of anything than the real feel? Remember when they made that like 15 years ago?
Right. So what does it really feel like?
Right. And when it came out, everyone was like, what is that?
Yeah. All right, Purple Raiders ready to receive the kickoff here. It's a 17-16 game. Mount with a 1-point lead, 13:02 to go, third quarter. Mount purple jerseys, black pants, purple helmets, white numbers and letters today. Johns Hopkins white jerseys, white pants, navy blue numbers and letters with the powder blue trim.
12.
Real feel is 12. Yeah. That sounds about right.
Well, and the weird thing, and when you think of Mount Union Stadium, which I'm guessing a lot of the folks listening have been here, but if you haven't, it doesn't sit completely into the campus. Like, it kind of sits in the middle of some things, but it also kind of sits out where it is.
Yes.
There's no big buildings protecting it. The Mac Center is to the left, and that's not a very tall building. And some of the dormitories and things to the right, neither of those are very tall either.
No, and they're back off a little bit.
They are.
Because of the 8-lane track and the little area behind. Darnell Williams with a return of the kickoff, 5-10. He's going to shake and bake to the 15. Flag down at the 9-yard line. That's coming back. Haven't seen many hankies today, but we got one there. And a holding on the return on Mount Union. So, boy, oh boy, the Raiders are in a pickle. They're going to have 1st and 10, but they're going to start with the ball, they believe, inside their own 10-yard line. And not exactly sure where that penalty happened. I'm not even sure it was a hold. It looked to me like there could have been a possible block in the back.
Yeah. Block in the back on
24.
It's going to be on Camden Wesley. Locked his guy in the back, and man, own 5-yard line. This is dicey with the wind in the face, too.
Mount at their own 5. Handoff Echeverry over left tackle. He is taken down at the 6-yard line by Johns Hopkins. Xavier Newell, beg your pardon. So look out at the phonetic spelling there, and they do indeed tell you. They say not Zave, so I'm assuming it's Xavier. 2nd down and 9 Raiders from their own 6. They're going to put it up. TJ looks, cross, caught. Tyrell Sanders, 1st down, Mount Union at the 22-yard line. Hey, how about that throw into the wind for 16 yards and a Mount Union 1st down?
I wish we could say repeatedly how good a throw that is by TJ DeShields, but that's the throw, Sam, that he makes with such great regularity, that is such a high-level throw that he just does so calmly that a lot of quarterbacks at this level can't make.
Backs are split. Shields gives it to Tyler, 20, 25, 26 to the 27. Tyler Echeverry rips off a gain of close to 6 yards on the play. You know, John, I feel like we talk about it, and I feel like we talk about it a good amount, but maybe we still owe. How about the job by the young man from West Branch? Being thrown into the Wolves after the injury to Boudry, and look what he has done with this offense and this football team. And we're talking about TJ DeShields. Just phenomenal. TJ back to throw. Steps up, crossing around, caught. Nicky Turner got it. Immediately hammered down at the 31-yard line. That will leave the Purple Raiders a 3rd and 1 to go as we crank things through in the 3rd quarter. 11 minutes to go in the period. Mount Union 17, Johns Hopkins 16. Sam Berkman, John Bazika today for the Division III National Semifinal for Mount Union. Big play here, 3rd and 1 Raiders. TJ in the gun, gets the snap, hands it Taylor. 1st down, Echeverry's got the yardage he needs. Move the chains, 1st down Mount Union at the Raider 34-yard line.
Well, and when you think about TJ DeShields' story, you know, he went down and he played at a D2 college in Texas and set some big numbers down there. Originally went to Akron, you know, and then kind of waited his turn and found himself on this roster. And, you know, I think you and I always felt throughout the year that he could sling the rock, but, you know, when called upon, he's managed the job and he's taken the pressure that comes with it and been calm in the situation.
Just needed the opportunity, and boy, did he get it. Play action, throw out the flat, Tyler 40. Look at him go, 40, 45, 50 to the Johns Hopkins 47-yard line. DeShields to Echeverry. 1st down, Mount Union to the Blue Jays 47-yard line.
You know, and I think the thing about him that impresses me so much is that he is just such a calm, level-headed guy. He never gets too high, he never gets too low. He never even looks like he celebrates, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what a good quarterback does.
Stay in the moment, even keel. Do it like a pro. Here comes the blitz. TJ back to throw, throws it out there, deep left, hanging in there. Sanders with a catch again at the 17-yard line. 1st down, Mount Union. Give me 30 yards on a play. Move the chains. Purple Raider 1st down.
You know, it's like the corners and safeties are trying to play a game of checkers out there, and Tyrell just so smart playing the game of chess, watching that ball in the wind, adjusting last moment, coming back to it, running deeper than he needed to, and stopping on a dime. What a great catch.
He played the wind, and the Blue Jays didn't. There's Echeverry over left guard, left tackle. Tyler squeezing his way down to the 15 for a gain of 2.
Well, and it was the 2nd time that he's had Luca, who's been out there, that graduate DB on the outside, the corner. And it's what you said, Sam. There's a style to playing the wind. you know the ball isn't going to get as far as it is.
Mhm.
It's like being a center fielder in baseball. You have to anticipate where the wind, where the elements are going to drop the ball so that you camp out within a certain radius of where it's going to be.
8-17, third quarter. Mount Union 17, Johns Hopkins 16. Raiders second and 8 at the Blue Jay 15, going left to right. 1 on the play clock. TJ gets it, throws it over the middle. Sims. No, it's Radford with a catch and a first and goal for Mount Union. What a grab by Trey. Yes, sir. First down, Mount Union.
Doesn't get many opportunities with the ball thrown his way, but sure hands there coming across the field. 2 defenders.
Raiders up to the line, ready to roll in a hurry. It's going to be
They're going to look at this catch.
stoppage.
They're going to look at this catch.
Why? This was a good catch. I'm telling you right now. Great defensive coverage, but Trey Radford made a phenomenal catch.
It's going to be based on the basis for the looking at it is going to be whether his left hand where he cradled the ball was completely under it as he went to the field surface. And the ball was coming a bit loose as he went to the surface. That's going to be the question. The thing is, Sam, I don't know if they have a good enough angle to prove otherwise of it being a catch. That ball did move as he went to the ground, but did it move enough to change the call?
His hand's under it, see?
Well, that there where he rolls over.
But they can't see that.
I know.
You know, we can't. They can't.
But it would appear as though the ball was pressed against the ground a bit. It should be an easy call of, yes, catch, but
all right.
I think the quickness would rule that.
That's a catch, like we knew all along. First and goal. And if the Raiders could pound one in here and get it to 24-16.
So how does this affect everything here? Mount Union was on a roll.
On a roll. They were
how
ready
does
to get up and go.
Things? Yeah.
We'll
see. Does Johns Hopkins, I did it now too. Do they regroup?
All right, Raiders with a lot of shifting and window dressing before this snap. First and goal, Mount at the 4. The Shields back to throw, fires. In for Echeverry, incomplete. And a really nice defensive play by Cole Peters, the linebacker.
I don't know if you remember, but when they beat John Carroll actually in the first round of the playoffs, they ran that exact same play with all of that window dressing, and it was a little pass out to the flat like that to Tyler. And clearly, Johns Hopkins, Peters, the linebacker, had seen that on film and diagnosed it. Did a nice job there.
TJ may want that one back.
I think
Not that was a terrible throw, but it was behind Tyler.
Yeah, you could put it in better placement.
Yep. Second and goal, Mount at the Johns Hopkins 4. Anderson and Sims shift to the left side. Echeverry, the tailback. They'll give it to Tyler. Up the middle, bangs his way to the 3, to the 2, into the end zone. The Shields with the touchdown. Did I get faked out that badly?
I did too.
Holy cow, what a play and a score. TJ DeShields faked it to Agent Zero and ran it into the end zone, and I had no idea where the ball. What a fake.
Sam, I did the same thing that you did, my man.
I'm like, what the heck's 12 doing with the ball? Did he recover a fumble? Look at that. Easy pickings. Great call, coach. Touchdown, Mount Union.
It's because we never anticipate him doing that.
No. Yvonne Merrick with the extra point. Nails it.
Well, and did you notice, too, the reason why it was so effective, it's because he faked it and he kind of covered the ball up with both of his hands.
That was incredible. Let me see if we can maybe watch this a couple of times as they reverse the instant replay for us, which is currently frozen. So 24-13 Mount Union, 7:31 to go in the third quarter.
It was the fake followed by, he almost used, and I'm trying to explain this the best I can, but he faked it and he almost used his right arm to, cover the football.
Yeah.
And then Tyler, the way that he went into the line.
He carried it out with the Larry Zonka-esque hand over it under the ball. Everybody bit.
They did.
Me. And touchdown, Mount Union. Well, I'll take it. I'll take a screw up.
That's why
anytime.
We the 3 to the 2. I was like, wait, does he even have the ball?
Unbelievable.
And then I think you and I both saw the same thing. We saw TJ in the back of the end zone with the ball in his hand.
Incredible. Touchdown. 8-point game. Mount Union with 7:31 to go third quarter. Raiders 24. Johns Hopkins 16. That was a big boy drive, was it not?
That was. Well, now 8-point game, and you know that it's going to come down to that 2-point conversion now too. 11 plays, by the way, 95 yards, 511 taken off of the clock. And Sam, you talked about it. This really gives us a chance to discuss it too. But TJ DeShields, how about the throws on that drive? The big throw over the middle to start things, get them out of the shadow of their own goalposts to Tyrell Sanders. Then a throw later down the sideline to Sanders. By the way, Sanders, not a bad day. He's averaging a ridiculous amount of yards per catch. 4 catches, 112 yards. I mean, I know that the stats aren't going to say it, but is there a better one-on-one on the outside receiver than Tyrell Sanders in Division III college football?
Yeah, if there is, we haven't seen him.
And it's not that. Look, here's the thing. There are wide receivers that maybe do things better than him in terms of like catching the deep ball or beating their guy off the line or doing the little things. But when the ball is thrown in three's general vicinity, you can guarantee he's going to get a hand on it. And he's probably going to make the catch.
Good things are going to happen. NFL, Texans lead the Chiefs 10-7. 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Come on, Mahomes.
College football today up at Happy Valley. And oh, boy. Well, I can't say I didn't see this coming because I did. 28-0 Penn State over SMU.
Not even James Franklin can lose that game.
Ponies are a little overmatched today. There's the kickoff. It's a squib, and Johns Hopkins will fall on the ball at their own 29-yard line. So 7:30 to go third quarter. Mount Union 24, Johns Hopkins 16. The Blue Jays will take the ball first and 10 and go right to left. Here in this third quarter of play, Sam Berkman, John Bazika, 1310 WDPN, Q92radiosports.com. Glad you're with us today, wherever you happen to be on this chilly, cold, blustery Saturday afternoon in Alliance, Ohio. Purple Raiders looking to get back to the national championship game. And boy, what a journey it's been. Meadow hands it off over the right side. Schroeder, not much. To the 28, that's it.
I know it's only been 2 years since they haven't been there. But I guess you and I both, growing up Northeast Ohioans and around this county, anytime they weren't there, it was like a shock.
It was like a shock. At Mount Union, they feel it is time. Back to throw again, James Ranello. Fires it deep right, got a man open, but Liebler with a great reaction and turns around at the last second, gets a hand on it, incomplete. The former Maslin, Washington Tiger with an outstanding play, second down.
That was the win too, because Tallarico one-on-one there in coverage had his man beat. And give Liebler credit. That's, we talk about playing the wind. Liebler there played the wind again.
So they're down to 10. Big play here for the Mount defense. Blue Jays going to send 4 wide over the middle. There's that guy again, Cole Crotty with a catch and a first down at the Johns Hopkins 41. Johnny Rollman on the tackle for Mount Union. But it's a 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays.
5th catch of the day for Crotty. He
he's like the Brian Brennan.
He is.
He just finds a way to get open, and he's slippery. He'll find just enough space. He'll clear out a little opening for himself. First down, Blue Jays at the 41. Play action. Ranello back to throw over the middle. Got Crotty wide open. 10-5 touchdown, Johns Hopkins. Whoa. 59 yards on a touchdown in a blink of an eye. It's a 24-22 game, and the Blue Jays will go for 2.
Big boy throw. Deep post going down the middle of the field. I mean, this is not just like a run-of-the-mill throw. That's 3 defenders in the area, and like he dropped it into a bucket.
Yeah.
I mean, just a perfect ball. That's the same ball that he missed on just a little bit earlier in the game. 2-point conversion could tie us.
Huge. Ranello will go under center temporarily. Mount Union calls a timeout.
You think they're going to want that timeout back?
I was just going to say, John, I know this is a big play. And it's either going to be 24-24 or it's going to be 22-22. But there's 6:16 to go in the third quarter.
You're going to want that timeout back.
You're going to want that timeout back, I think. I hope not, but I think that makes sense.
How good is James Ranello, by the way? 13 of 23, 216, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Sam, we were impressed with Marietta's Connor Vierstra. We were impressed with Nick Septenfelter. A couple weeks ago, we were impressed with Lively, the quarterback that Carnegie Mellon had. This kid's the best we've seen come through Alliance this year. He's a little bit different. Just different confidence, willing to take a chance. I think that's the difference. You know, you get guys at this level that are good, but they're not willing to take the chance to throw the ball down the field. And this kid, he's like a protective gunslinger type mentality. He just keeps coming at you. And this play right here, this big momentum grab right here.
3 tight ends to the left. They're going to stack the slots. Wide to the right, Ranello into the gun. They're going for 2 of the Blue Jays. Leger in motion. Incomplete. They try to get it to Leger, who was coming back on a bubble, and it went off his fingertips and incomplete. And it remains a 24-22 game. Mount Union with 6:16 to go, and another full timeout. 24-22, Mount Union. Purple Raider playoff football continues on 1310 WDPN.
Hey, man, good to see you. What brings you out here today? Need to pick up a few tools. You? I need new kitchen cabinets, countertops, maybe even a whole new kitchen, but I can't get any help or find what I need in this place. You need to go to Robertson's for that. Robertson's Kitchen and Bath Gallery is an American Standard plumbing registered showroom, and their knowledgeable consultants have the training and expertise to actually help you get what you need without breaking your budget.
Visit Robertson Kitchen and Bath at 2155 West Main Street in the Alliance Industrial Park, or visit them online at robertsonkitchenandbath.com, where amazing meets affordable. Regional EMS stands as your trusted partner for all things emergency and non-emergency transportation. From the swift response in Carroll County to the seamless transit in Summit, Stark, Portage, and the Mahoning Valley, they've got you covered. Regional EMS is more than just a ride. They're your go-to for business-to-business solutions, too, adapting to meet diverse needs when others won't. Don't hesitate. Connect with Regional EMS today at 330-987-4373 and let them be your solution when time matters most.
So here I am in line at Papa Gyro's. I order the Gyro Supreme. Suddenly, the lady behind me chimes in.
It's pronounced gyro.
Then the fella behind her says,
it's a gyro.
I turn my back and I finish my order. I also need a large Grecian salad, some baklava chocolate swirl, and a Cajun gyro.
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 Okay. So no matter how you say it, you're not far from a Papa Gyro's.
For Pete's sake, it's Papayitos. Find the Papayitos closest to you at papayitos.com.
Who's Pete?
Hello, Purple Raider fans. Chuck Moore here, former Mount Union running back, four-time national champion, and 2001 Gallardi Trophy winner. Are you facing some major financial events, things like retirement, marriage, divorce, or selling a business? We at Markham Wealth understand, and we can help. Call 330-564-8590 or visit www.markhamwealth.com for a free consultation.
Neither tailored services nor the background of your financial professional should be construed as a guarantee of a particular outcome. Past performance does not guarantee future results. All investing comes with risk, including risk of loss. Markham Wealth is an SEC registered investment advisor. Registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training.
1310 WDPN, Sam Berkman, John Bazika, Mount Union, Purple Raider playoff football. Mama, 24-22, Mount Union with 6:16 to go. In the third quarter play, J.B. Furman setting the ball up on the tee, which inevitably the ball is going to get blown over by the wind again, and there it is.
By the way, that was probably the most efficient drive that we've seen today.
Yep.
On either side. That was a 4-play, 72-yard drive. Took a minute 14 off of the clock. How does Mount respond again? This has been the game of cat and mouse they've been in all day. And you keep in mind now, Sam, too, a touchdown and the extra point, that could make it a 9-point game.
Yeah.
2-score ball game.
So a missed extra point and a missed 2-point conversion today for the Blue Jays. There's the kickoff. It's a good one. Come on, Darnell. At the 5-yard line of the 10. Darnell right hash 15 to the 20. Got a seam 25-30. Got a block 35. Out of bounds. Darnell Williams at the 37-yard line. Good return by number 21 for the Purple Raiders. That was like the opening kickoff. Saw a lane, went right side hash, took it up. Didn't get quite as far this time, but still pretty good field position for TJ DeShields and Mount Union with 6:10 to go in the third and holding on to a 24-22 lead.
You know what I don't understand is why they don't have more plays designed to just go to him and get him in space. I mean, this is the national semifinal. Like, anything you have in the playbook, don't waste it. Use it.
1st and 10, Raiders at their 38-yard line going left to right. Give to Echeverry. 40. 41 for Tyler. He picks up around 3 yards on the play. We'll call it 2nd and 7. I got to be extra careful now. Watching when DeShields goes back to A, either give it to Tyler or B, fake it. I got to hang in there a little extra longer than normal after that ball fake on that last touchdown. There's Darnell Williams into the game. Backs are split. DeShields in the gun. Anderson and H back. They'll counter right. They'll come back right with Tyler. Breaks a tackle 45. Echeverry to the 49. And a first down for Mount Union. A gain of 8 yards on the play. Tyler Echeverry continues to work his magic, the young man out of Naples, Florida, and a first down.
You know, they had him in the play before that, and they are bringing him back in now. But Jerry Cooper, who's been the kind of slot guy that's made some big catches time after time this year, we have yet to see him get involved today. And it feels like they've been trying to get him involved in the offense, but he has yet to make a big play.
Trey Radford in now as a slot as part of that trips package to the left side. Turner down here to the right, 1st and 10 Raiders at their 49-yard line. DeShields gives it Tyler 50, 45. Look at him go, 40, 35 to the 33. First down, 16 yards. Tyler Echeverry does it again. Give that man some Gatorade.
Give him the Gallardi trophy.
Right? Boy, he is just something.
Well, and, you know, don't let anything fool you. It starts with that line up front. Those guys, the experience, there's such a great relationship there, and that's part of the reason why that's worked so well all year.
Now, across the line, you got senior, junior, senior, junior, senior. You can't go wrong there. DeShields back to throw, 1st and 10. He fires right side. Caught. Tyrell Sanders inside the 25. Down to the Blue Jays' 23-yard line. 8, maybe 9 yards on the play. 2nd down and 1 for the Raiders. Sean Thomas will stay in on this play for Mount Union as Echeverry continues to get a brief rest on the Mount Union sideline. He has worked hard today. 2nd and 1 Raiders at the Blue Jay 23. 24-22 Mount Union with a tenuous 2-point lead. Sims and Anderson to the right, H-back. Sean Thomas, your tailback. 8 on the play clock. TJ gives it to Sean. Got a whole 20. 15. He's to the 10. Thomas into the end zone. Touchdown, Mount Union. Sean Thomas takes it in. Punch. Counter punch. Punch. Raiders 30. Blue Jays 22.
Think there's anybody happier right now than Tyler Echeverry, too. He was the first guy running down the sideline to go celebrate with Sean. What a run there. Just a real power run, kind of an isolation play, just getting him against defenders. And he's bigger bodied than Tyler. So he gets on the outside and he breaks tackles. And how about that? Tyler has scored today. Darnell Williams has scored today. And now Sean Thomas has scored today. And Yvonne Merrick does his job.
That's right. Extra point is perfect. And we'll keep it here. 3:29 to go in the third quarter. Mount Union 31 and Johns Hopkins 22. If you would have told me we would have 53 points in this game with 3+ to go in the third quarter, I would not have believed you.
Well, based on the statistical analysis coming into the game, too, the nation would have sided with you. 19th scoring defense in the nation against the 3rd scoring defense. Sam, both these teams, the top scoring defense is in their respective conferences. The Centennial, the Johns Hopkins came out of, of course, the Ohio Athletic, where Mount Union comes out of. But, man, what a day and what a game this has become. As you said, trading punches the whole way. And, this is where each time James Ranello has come up and he's made another big throw each time. And it's been Cole Crotty today that's been the problem.
Yeah.
And that's kind of surprising too, Sam, because he's good. But E.J. Tallarico was looked at as being their top wide receiver. You wonder if Mount's going to adjust to that. But they've got 3 targets they can get the ball to.
Kickoff return by Scales. 15-20, 25-30 to the 33 before he is taken down by Poundstone. Nope, that's not Poundstone. Beg your pardon. That's 32. That is Connor Adelman. So, first down, Johns Hopkins, 3:23 to go, third quarter. Mount Union 31. Johns Hopkins Blue Jays 22. Sam Berkwin, John Bazika with you. There's a penalty flag all the way back here at the 34. Mount was actually offsides on the kickoff. Yikes. So they'll move the ball up now. Johns Hopkins will take over first and 10 at their own 37-yard line.
If we get to go to Houston in a couple weeks, Sam, we'll be wearing shorts doing that game.
Doggone right we will. 60 in Austin today for that Texas game against Clemson. Ranello rolling right. He's just going to tuck it and run. 45, and he does a knee slide, I guess, at the 42-yard line. A 5-yard pickup on the play for the quarterback, James Ranello.
It looked like a situation where he was like, do I want to go down? Do I want to go down? Do I want to go down? And he was like, I guess I'll go down.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go in the third. Clock running. Purple Raiders in front, 31-22.
That really looked like a toddler learning to slide for the first time playing baseball.
4 in the receiver pattern. Ranello go back to the throw. He fires right hash. Got a man wide open. Holy cow.
Tallarico.
Inside the 25, and Tallarico will officially go out of bounds at the Mount Union 24.
Just keep coming, Sam. They just keep coming.
You can't keep them down. You can't keep them down.
I mean, it's like a fight, and Mount Union has thrown a bunch of big punches, but it's like Wepner and Ali back in 74. Wepner just keeps getting off of the mat and throwing more punches.
Mountain has not been able to deliver the haymaker yet. And the Blue Jays are still standing. Play action. That's going to be a run by Romello. 15, got away at the 10. Romello got away at the 5. He's to the 4. And it's first and goal. Finally, Jazz Jackson with the tackle. I'll tell you what right now, John, neither defense can stop either offense right now.
Did you have a shootout on your bingo card today?
I did not.
I don't know.
I had something like
20-17.
Yeah, if that. Wow. Mount defense being tested again. First and goal for the Blue Jays at the Raider 4-yard line. Romello's going to keep it himself. Goes right over right tackle. He's to the 1-yard line. Did he get in?
He did.
Touchdown, Johns Hopkins. Wow. That was a short-lived 9-point lead. A minute and 40 to go in the third quarter. It's now 31-28. Purple Raiders and the Blue Jays will go for 1 after the touchdown.
James Ranello now, 14 of 24, 251, 2 passing touchdowns, and 14 attempts on the ground for 83 yards and a rushing touchdown. Wow. Sam, if you were playing Division III fantasy football at the college level, James Ranello would be your QB1 right now.
Wow, he is just putting up scary numbers. Extra point is up and good by Paxton. And we have a timeout in Alliance. This has turned into a good old-fashioned shootout in the Carnation City. 1:40 to go, third quarter. Mount Union 31 and John Carroll 29.
I'll give you a guess, Sam. Give me a number range of where you think total yards are combined in this game.
Combined, gosh, I bet it's over 500. 520. Higher? 650.
700.
Whoa, my goodness.
And 72.
I didn't realize that. I mean, that's obscene.
401 for Johns Hopkins, 371 for Mount.
That's incredible.
772. Folks, we have a quarter left and then some. We're headed towards 1,000, maybe 1,100 total yards between these two teams.
Incredible.
That's insanity. At this level, in these conditions, too.
Yeah.
A real field
this is
of 12.
not conducive for a shootout. But that's what we've got. And here comes Darnell Williams on the return. Same alley. Now he's going to go 25, 27. He backs his way out to the Mount Union 29-yard line.
Well, and now the question becomes, Sam, on both sides is which team, you know that one of these two is eventually going to, I won't say make a mistake, but eventually one of them is going to have some sort of situation arise that's going to cause them to have to regroup and rethink their plan. These last couple drives have been easy on both sides. And there's a reason they got here defensively, both of them. Which one of the defense is going to finally bow up and make that play? And at what point, too, is someone else maybe going to make a mistake, too? That's
31.
the question.
31-29 Raiders. First and 10 at their 29 to Shields. Gets the snap. Goes back to throw. Now he's going to run. Ooh. Goes down at the 33, and he got hit hard as he attempted to slide and didn't really get down.
No.
And not as bad as it looked originally, but still, you want to keep your quarterback from taking those kind of hits in the open field.
31-3 in Happy Valley, by the way, Penn State.
Yeah, that game's over.
I remember a day and time where Ohio State's Woody Hayes would schedule Southern Methodist as their opening game to just beat the crap out of them.
I remember one year that game ended up in a 35-35 tie. Echeverry in the flat got it 30, spun away 35. Look at Tyler Echeverry, another spin move, and he is going to go out of bounds at the Mount Union's 36.5-yard line.
That second game is supposed to start at 3:30. Will this game be done?
Oh, they're going to start at 3:30?
I thought it was 3:30, or is it 3?
Well,
what does it say on the bracket?
It might be troubling if it's a 3:30 start. 3 o'clock, forget about it.
3:30, yeah.
3:30. All right, big play here. Third down and 4 Raiders at their own 36. To Shields. Gives it Sean Thomas reaching. He's not going to get the first down. He's taken down at the 38-yard line. He had to get to the 40. And I'm willing to bet, well, Mount will let the quarter run out, and then they will make their decision. But I'm pretty sure you're going to see a punt to start this fourth quarter here in Alliance.
Sam, Mount is 1 for 8 today on third down. They are 3 for 3 on fourth down.
And with that, the third quarter is in the books. Hang on to your hats, everybody, literally. Fourth quarter is coming up. It's Mount Union 31, Johns Hopkins 29. John and I are back for the money quarter after this on 1310 WDPN.
Head to the Marketplace Plaza this holiday season for local fun and shopping with Hot Pots Pottery and Nest on State. Enjoy time with friends and family at Hot Pots Pottery, where you can create your own unique pieces, art, and memories. Afterwards, stroll over to the Nest on State, a charming local boutique featuring one-of-a-kind gifts, cards, and home goods. Perfect for all of your holiday needs this season. Hot Pots and Nest on State are both conveniently located in the Giant Eagle Plaza at 1800 West State Street in Alliance. It's the perfect way to treat yourself or others with a truly hometown experience.
We return back in here, start of the final quarter, as after 3, we have 781 total combined yards between these two. And Mount Union leads 31-29. At the half, it was a 17-14 Mount Union lead. Johns Hopkins outscores them in that third quarter, 16-14. And Mount Union, man, what an effort it's been this afternoon. Tyler Echeverry, another game over the 100-yard mark for the year. 17 attempts, 103 yards, and a touchdown. He scored a touchdown on the ground. Mount Union, 4 rushing touchdowns today from Echeverry, Williams, Thomas, and DeShields. They have yet to have a passing touchdown, and that's a note of importance because last week it was the arm of TJ DeShields. They came up huge for them in their 38-17 win at Salisbury. And, of course, this week it's been all about rushing the football, and they've gotten the job done on the ground. Sam, approaching the 200-yard mark as a team. I just can't get over that. The mark that we're headed for, over 1,000 yards of total offense could be combined by the end of the day between these two.
Unbelievable in these conditions.
And James Ranello, a quarterback rating of 173.7.
That's, well, what's the old adage? Big time players make big time plays in big time games, and I think we're seeing that on both sides today.
What I want to
This is
know,
to go to Houston, baby. It's all on the line.
what I want to know is, how did James Ranello not start the year at quarterback?
Yeah, that's a question you'd like to get an answer to. All right, Mount Union's going to line up and go for it, apparently. This is big right here. 4th and 2 Raiders.
Noah Boudry again on the
Noah
field.
Boudry in. 4th and 2 Mount Union at their own 38-yard line.
3 for 3 on 4th down today. And just 1 for 7 on 4th down. Correct that mark from earlier. But 3 for 3 on this down.
First play of the 4th quarter and a mega play. In motion, Boudry fakes it. Noah's going to keep it. Noah. It depends on the spot. First down, Mount Union. Noah Boudry comes in for a play. Gets the first down with his legs. Back to the sidelines. First down, Purple Raiders.
Sure that wasn't Baker Mayfield out there? That celebration was Baker-esque to a couple years ago when he played for the Browns still.
Wow.
What a gutsy play call. A guy who's been hurt, and you run a zone read with him in your own territory on 4th down.
And you get it. TJ DeShields back into the game. 1st and 10 Raiders at their 41. TJ back to throw. He's in trouble. Steps tall. Throws it. Tyrell Sanders in the wind. Did something with that ball. And Sanders couldn't adjust no matter what direction he turned. Incomplete. They went for the home run, John. Didn't get it. 2nd down.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of that this year. And that's, I know you wanted to talk about that earlier, Sam, and we didn't, but that is the one thing that's missing. Tyrell, great on making the circus catches. Nicky Turner, he is a burner. He can get downfield and make the big play, but they don't have that big NFL size guy who can just go and get you 6. That's the missing piece.
Sanders going to go wide left. Wide left. Raiders in a pistol look. TJ gives it Echeverry. He pinballs his way across the 43 out to the Mount Union 44.
This is the Achilles heel today, is that at one of these points, Mount Union's 4 for 4 on 4th down today. They're 1 for 7 on 3rd down. At one of these points, that 4th down is going to become a 4th down they don't feel comfortable going for.
Crowd getting into it. The deeper we go, 3rd and 7 Mount Union at their own 43-yard line. Raiders going right to left. They lead it 31-29. DeShields in the gun. Twins left, slot right. Snap, TJ to throw. Looks, fires. Caught by Cooper at the 50. He's going to be short of the first down, John. And another big 4th down play is coming up for TJ DeShields and the Mount Union Purple Raiders. 4th and 1 at midfield in a 31-29 game in the 4th quarter. Keep it on the ground here.
You need basically half a yard. You've been averaging 7 on the ground per day per carry. Best back in the country, Tyler right behind him.
Shields in the gun, Echeverry behind him, and a flag is thrown. And I think Mount Union false started.
You got to punt now, right?
Now you absolutely have to punt. Absolutely. Oh, my goodness.
Well, we said it. We said it at the end of the last quarter. We said it. Who was going to be the first one to make that little... Because it's not going to be a mistake that's going to get you. It's going to be a little infraction of some sort like that. This isn't the type of the game because both these teams play clean football. It's not the type of game where a turnover is going to have the effect, but a penalty like that, that's huge in a game like this.
Franklin in the punt, drills a line driver, checkup ball inside the 10, and it will roll to the 9, and the Raiders will down it at the Johns Hopkins 8-yard line.
And to further make that point of just how clean you have to play in today's game, third penalty of the game against Mount Union for 15 yards. Johns Hopkins has one penalty for 10 yards. Neither team, though, has turned the ball over. And Mount Union, we discussed it, their big Achilles heel today. The money down for them has been fourth down, converting 4 times.
Yep.
They are 1 for 8, though, on third down. Continually putting your offense in a position of going for it on 4th and 3, 2, 4, somewhere in there, it starts to hurt your offense eventually. And that 4th and 1, that little, whatever it might have been, little jerk up of the head, little, movement of an extremity, and you get a false start called. And now you've got an offense in Johns Hopkins that has looked mistake-free this entire game. And Sam, it has not mattered for Ranello where they give him the ball. He's made plays from every part of the field.
31-29 Mount Union. 12:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Coming out of this timeout, it'll be 1st and 10 Blue Jays at their own 9. They'll be going left to right with a swirling wind. College football playoffs, 4 minutes to go third quarter. Penn State 31, SMU 3, but the Mustangs are driving inside the 5-yard line. Later on, Clemson, Texas at 4, Buckeyes in Tennessee tonight at 8 o'clock.
Speaking of the Mustangs, have you been, this is a local thing, have you been to Tuslaw's new turf field yet?
I've only seen drone shots. I have not seen it in person. No.
It is outstanding.
Nice looking.
It is. I give them credit. That's Tuslaw Fairless. I love that rivalry. Just did the girls game in that this past week. As good as McKinley Massillon and the Holy War are, that if you've never been to a small school rivalry of any kind in this state, check out Tuslaw Fairless. It's really cool. The blue cup there that happens every year. They give out the blue ladle too to who collects the most soup. It's a lot of good stuff.
So who's left in the county that has grass field? Anybody?
I think everybody's
Arlington has turf now, right?
Yeah, they do.
So I think everybody will have turf. All right,
Malvern's the only adjacent that doesn't.
Yep. 1st and 10 Blue Jays. Ranello's going to keep it himself. He got out of trouble, and there he goes. 10, 15, 16, 17-yard line. Wow. Give him the 18. He got 9 almost. Yeah, we'll give him 9. It'll be 2nd and 1 coming up. He is so dicey. Ranello running, throwing, decision-making.
He's like a mix of Colt McCoy from Texas and Baker Mayfield. He's got all of those qualities to him.
The guy's a winner. There's Schroeder right over the right guard. He's got a first down to the 24-yard line before Rossi Moore and company bring him down. Renard also on the tackle for Mount Union. Now it looks like Johns Hopkins is getting into that comfortable offensive rhythm now. 11:40 left to go in the game. Purple Raiders hanging on for that ticket to Houston. 31-29 here in the fourth quarter of play. Blue Jays 1st and 10, play action. Ranello back in there. It's almost intercepted by Rossi Moore at the 30-yard line. Oh, what a break that would have been.
Give credit. Caleb Renard, the linebacker, the one who came in there and crunched him into his place. What a hit. And it hurt that throw going downfield. And I'll tell you what, Sam, that's a big-time hit, too, because he had Talarico running step for step down the right sideline there with the corner, and he had his man beat.
So close for Rossi Moore for the pick at 2nd and 10. Ranello back to throw. Steps up, and he's going to run it again. 25, and thrown down at the 27. He wants a helmet. He's not going to get it. Tackled by the Purple Raiders. Jackson Harris, number 95, along with Vaughn Factor, and it looks like Harris is still down at the 27-yard line.
We talked about it in the pregame, the story, too, that Johns Hopkins has coming in here. They've won all of these close games. And the last time they were here, Sam, their head coach, one of their great head coaches, the guy who is the winningest coach in their school's history, in Jim Margraf, passed away a month after the loss here to Mount Union. And you just wonder, a guy in Coach Wadika, who's a former player of his, they have that emotion on their mind today too. It's just, it's a lot. That's a lot that you come into this game with, and they're just playing inspired today, Sam.
Well, Jackson Harris is up, and he is trying to jog it off as he'll go over to the Mount Union sidelines. They did come in and call for the full media timeout, so we'll have that to deal with. 11:07 left in the game. Mount Union 31, Johns Hopkins 29. This has been, well, you know what? This is what a national semifinal should be like. Once you get to the Final Four, this is the kind of game you would expect, and that's exactly what we've gotten here today.
Well, and this is, to me, this is what all playoff games should be like at a certain level, that you should get close matches like this. And I'm not saying that Mount was fortunate last week, but it's not very often, Sam, that at any level other than high school that you see a team that is run-centric only go far. I mean, you think about NFL teams that don't have a passing game or lack something or another, they're going to get knocked out. You think about the NCAA teams, look at Army and Navy. As good as they were this year, what do they do all the time? They run the football. And they play against teams that are bigger, stronger, and faster and more complex systems. And again, I'm not saying Mountain got a pass last week. Salisbury was very good, but Johns Hopkins can do it all. They're more of a pro-style, pro-set offense with a quarterback that can make any throw. And this third down here, this is your early play of the game right here, Sam.
A little bit of snow flurry activity here in Alliance, but the sun is out. Kind of a weird look. Third down for Johns Hopkins in 7. Ranello back to throw. He's in trouble. Got him at the 20-yard line. There it is. Marcus Jackson, Jazz Jackson, Brandon Yansons, Caleb Brown. Everybody was there for the Raiders. Big sack. Fourth down for the Blue Jays, and Johns Hopkins will punt it away.
Well, let's give complete credit where it's ultimately due, and that's Rossi Moore. Battled through a double team, came off the left end of the defensive line, just bull rushed through two guys. Sam, there's a reason he's an All-American, and there's a reason he's arguably the best defensive player in the nation. It's because of plays like that.
Rossi Moore with a big-time play, and it's fourth down and 15 for the Blue Jays, and the punt, low, line driver. Just stay away from that ball. Stay away from it. That's exactly what May will do, and the Hopkins will down it at the Mount Union 45-yard line. Now is the time for about a 5 or 6 minute drive. Put it into the end zone and put the hammer down. There's still a lot of football to be played with 10 minutes to go, but a nice time-consuming touchdown drive here. You really want to suck the life out of this Blue Jay team, and now's the opportunity for Mount Union right here.
That was Mount's third sack of the day defensively. Johns Hopkins has sacked TJ DeShields how many times, Sam?
0.
Correct.
TJ to throw it. Fires it. Got a man. Caught. First down. Sanders inside the 45 of Johns Hopkins. Down close to the 43 of the Blue Jays. 1st and 10, Mount Union.
There's a lot of football junkies, football ex-coaches that will tell you the two most important things in football. Can you run the football? Mount Union answer to that, yes. Almost 200 yards on the ground, 7 yards a pop. Can you get to the quarterback? Yes. Third sack of the day. Mount Union has checked those two things off. Last thing they need here to kind of put everything over the top, as you said, Sam, is a killer drive to kill some clock and gain some advantage.
1st and 10, Mount Union at the Blue Jay 42, and Mount had to burn a timeout with 9:28 left, and they're down to 1 for the game.
Yeah, I think that's extremely significant. I will say that to put that in the simplest terms. I wanted to discuss this too, the amount of sacks that this Mountain defense has had. It's something I haven't looked at this year, but I mean, I would have to imagine that as far as team stats go, that they have to be one of the leaders in the nation in total amount of sacks. I just need to find where that stat would be here on.
Snow flurry activity is picking up. The clouds have thickened. There's still a little bit of sun trying to crack through the clouds to our left over by the Mac Center. But it gives a little bit of an eerie look here to the stadium right now. Lights have been on since this morning. So you've got 80% in cloud cover, a little bit of sun to our left, and the snow flurries have picked up, and the wind has kept up all afternoon long here in Alliance.
50 sacks on the season. That's good for an average of about 4 a ball game that they average, and that is good for 5th in the country at that mark. Team with the most sacks was Bethel, that played last week and lost to Susquehanna in the last round. I know it's simple, and a lot of people say, well, how much can you really boil down to simply getting to the quarterback? But you got to think about,
there's a lot involved there.
You got to think about today's game too. I mean, back 30, 40 years ago, when it was more of a cat and mouse kind of pass rush type of game where it wasn't pass centric, it wasn't maybe as big of a moniker to keep. But now, where everyone opens the offense up and it's shotgun like this, it can set you really behind the chains.
First down, Purple Raiders. Back to throw. Nope, going to be the right side to Darnell Williams. 45 to no, 40, 35. He's out of bounds at the 31. First down, Mount Union. 12-yard scamper by Darnell Williams and a first down for the Raiders.
He's actually going to get passing yards for that too, is TJ, because it was that little creative push pass that we've seen come up more and more in today's game. And how about these conditions now? This is conducive to Mount Union doing what they want to. Obviously, both teams are cold weather cities, Alliance and Baltimore, but man, Mount Union probably a little bit more used to this than Johns Hopkins.
Got a little snow globe going on right now at Cara Stadium. There's Echeverry. Tyler is taken down at the 30-yard line for no gain on the play.
You know, and how big now is the leg of Yvonne Merrick too, Sam? That's your difference in the game.
Yeah. And, well, now get me the touchdown. But you're right. Because of that field goal, a missed extra point by the Blue Jays, and a missed 2-point conversion, we got a 3-point game here. And if you get a field goal here, but that still makes it only a 5-point game. But that way the Blue Jays would have to go for 6 instead of 3. But, boy, the snow and the wind is picked up here. DeShields fires it right side. Sanders almost a spectacular circus grab, but he couldn't hold that one. Incomplete. And with the snap of a finger, it's 3rd and 10, Mount Union at the Blue Jays 30-yard line. 8:12 to go in the game, and Mount is hanging on to a 2-point lead.
I mean, folks, this wind at this point, this is a crosswind from right to left, and the snow is blowing at a rapid pace across the field, and it is starting to accumulate, but there's blue sky that's also opening up to our right. As Sam said, created kind of an eerie winter feeling. I'm sure it feels like 2 degrees out there right now.
3 on the play clock for the Raiders. Back to throw is TJ DeShields. He steps, he looks, he pumps, he fires. Caught! Sanders inside the 15 to the 14 and a first down. 16 yards on the pickup. Sanders from TJ. And how about DeShields, John? Hung in, stood tall, looked down the field. Progressions, BB, first down.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really, really well-designed play. You run Cooper on the vertical, bring Sanders underneath on the cross. It cleared out that spot in the zone. Great throw.
Fired it right through the snow. DeShields pump, fake looks. Cooper got it. 15. Cooper to the 10. Jerry Cooper still on his feet to the 9-yard line. Yes, hold on to that pigskin, young man. And he did. And he got to the 9-yard line. It's a gain of 5. 7:20 left to go in this national semifinal. Mount Union 31, Johns Hopkins 29. Sam Bergman, John Bazika. Oh, baby. 13-10 WDPN. This to go to Houston.
I really can't get over that throw there on 3rd down to something Mount Union's been struggling with all afternoon. That was just their second 3rd down conversion of the day.
Raiders now going to go Echeverry behind the Shields. Double H back right, Turner left. Give to Tyler. Echeverry 10, 5, 4, 3, 2. He leads into the end zone. Touchdown, Mount Union. Tyler Echeverry bangs his way into the end zone. 6:52 to go. 37-29. Good guys.
28th rushing touchdown of the year for Tyler Echeverry. Continues to etch his name in the history books and in Mount Union lore with that touchdown, and
big extra point here.
A very important extra point.
Yvonne Merrick, good snap, good spot, good hold. Yvonne puts it up, puts it through, and we've got a 38-29 ball game in Alliance. 6:52 to go in the fourth quarter. Mount Union 38, Johns Hopkins 29. What a drive, what a finish. And the Raiders are up by 9 with 6:52 left to go.
So it's obviously not going to be the rushing yards total that Dan Pugh or Chuck Moore or Logan Nemeth or even Nate Kamick had back years ago, Sam. But with that 28th rushing touchdown, it leaves him alone at 6th all-time in the record books. And he trails a pretty great group of guys. Logan Nemeth, Chuck Moore, Dan Pugh, and Nate Kamick twice. 07 and 08. Nate Kamick, that man lived in the end zone 81 times. He found the end zone. Over a 3-year period, he was in the end zone 107 times. You factor in his freshman year was 125. But Tyler Echeverry, talk about, that's the thing about Mount Union. It's the single great seasons, too. And that's what the program and the machine builds, is that it's the guys that step into their role, they wait their turn, and they come in. And the season Tyler's had, if this hangs on and they end up playing in Houston in a couple weeks, they'll talk about it for a long time.
Yvonne Merrick with the kickoff. It's deep. It's going to be returned at the 4-yard line. Here comes Talarico to the 10, switching directions to the 12, and he is nailed at the 12-yard line. Downfield tackle, Ryan Iden, number 35 for Mount Union on special teams. All right, this is the drive of the year coming up for both these teams. 6:47 to go in the game. Mount Union 38, Johns Hopkins 29. The Blue Jays will have it 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line. Timeout situation, Johns Hopkins with 3, Mount Union with 1. And the Purple Raiders need to hang on for another 6:47 in the snow, in the cold, in the wind here in Alliance. Brunello back to throw. Over the middle. Caught. Crotty got it at the 20. He scoots to the 21-yard line for a gain of 8. 2nd down and 2. 6:35 clock rolling here in the fourth quarter of play.
Very similar game to 2022 when Wartburg came in here and went right down to the wire that afternoon as well.
Brunello in the gun. 3-step drop. He looks. He fires wide open. My word. Leger at the 50, 40, 35 to the 32-yard line. The middle of the field is wide open.
How do you let a 6'5", 240-pound target come that open on a deep post? The tight end, there was no one within 5 yards of him.
Blue Jays up to the line, and the chains didn't even get set. Brunello back to throw, and they got him at the 40-yard line. Jackson, Brown, Moore for the Purple Raiders. That'll put him behind the sticks.
So if you're Johns Hopkins, you can afford here to obviously take a play like that, but you need to save your 3 timeouts. You can't use one of them because you've got to figure that Mount Union's going to be able to chew some clock up.
2nd and 18, Blue Jays at the Mount 40-yard line. Ranello back to throw it again. Deep out. Leger wide open. Caught it. Stiff arm to the 30 and down to the Mount Union 27-yard line. A gain of 13 on the play. He did stay in bounds, so the clock, even at this point, you want to, if you're a Mount Union follower, you want these seconds to tick off quickly.
I don't know if any NFL teams are looking at him, but if they aren't, they'd be silly not to.
Johns Hopkins, 3rd and 6 at the Mount 28-yard line. Purple Raiders, 38. Blue Jays, 29. Revel to throw. It's a slant. It's incomplete. Looking for Crotty. Arthur and Cook were in the neighborhood, and it's 4th down and 6 for Johns Hopkins.
See, and this is that weird gray area now in this game with where the wind and the placement of it is. Mount fans know it too.
First time all day, John. They've gotten off their seats today.
Well, and they know it. They sense it.
They've been through this before.
This is a 4th down play here. They know Johns Hopkins can't take the field goal here. It's too long. The wind is against them. Biggest play of the ball game here. This might be your ball game.
Might be the ball game here. 4th and 6. Blue Jays at the Mount Union 28-yard line. Snap, timeout. And Mount just burned through their last timeout. With 4:45 left. And coming out of the timeout, it'll be 4th and 6. Johns Hopkins at the Purple Raider 28, and very well could be the season on this next snap from Cara Stadium coming up out of the timeout.
You know, you think about the other national championship teams, and there are obviously 13 of them.
Just a few.
You know, 93, they had a tough battle when they got to the big game. I know it was a real back-and-forth affair with Rowan that they had that year. The last time they did it, though, 2017, it's been some years. That was Vince's second, I believe, of 2 national championships that Vince won. I mean, they had Fulford as their quarterback that year. Got things done right at the end there, and they had a great defense that season that was, part of what took them that far. That was a team, I believe, that had Lou Berry on it, too, who I think is one of the better kind of just Division III college guys that they've had in recent years.
Here we go. Snow's flying. Lights are on. Fans are up on their feet. 4th and 6. Blue Jays at the Mount Union 28-yard line. Raiders lead by 9. Brunello back to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Hey, it's a sack, and it's loose. And it doesn't matter because the Purple Raiders are going to take over. 1st and 10. Another sack by the Mount Union defense. How about that?
Snow flying from the air, and this Mount Union defense that has been so darn opportunistic all season. Marcus Jackson and company, the All-OAC linebacker. He's had an unbelievable year at his middle linebacker spot, and that's such a big play. Initially wanted to come through the A-gap, saw that it was covered up, basically went outside almost to like the C gap and was able to blow through, and what a big play. And now a couple first downs and burning of timeouts, and Mount might be headed to Houston, Sam.
Von Factor and Rossi Moore, or Marcus Jackson there on that play, and icing on the cake was the ball actually came loose and squirted ahead a little bit, and the Raiders actually ran the first play from scrimmage after that turnover on downs. Timeout, Johns Hopkins. Raiders, by the way, on that carry picked up 4, so it'll be 2nd and 6. Blue Jays stopped the clock with a 4:32 left to go in the game. Mount Union leads it 38-29. Susquehanna and North Central Illinois scheduled to kick off at 3:32 this afternoon, and it looks like that ball game most likely will get started right on time.
You know what I wanted to look at, and I wasn't able to find it because it's not, completely in here at that level in the Mount Union record books, but there have been years, Sam, where Mount Union, and I'm talking like right in the heart of like when LK really had it rolling, and I'm talking like around the late 90s to like 07, 08, somewhere in there, where Mount in the playoffs never played a close game. Like they just beat the heck out of everybody. And for them to have battle after battle this year, man, what a season it's been.
Different feel to it. Echeverry right side, 50. He's got a break at the 40. Echeverry, 35, 30, 25, 20. Tyler Echeverry, pay dirt, touchdown. Book it. Houston, here we come. 4:22 left to go. Purple Raiders, 44. Johns Hopkins, 29. And how about the young man Tyler Echeverry. He says, I got a little bit left in the tank on this snowy Saturday afternoon.
Touchdown number 29 of the season. Keeps climbing up the record book with the snow falling and accumulating on the ground. And give it 2 weeks, Sam, and it won't be snow. It'll be warm weather and the beautiful Texas nighttime skies that Mount Union will be celebrating in.
There's the extra point up and good by Yvonne Merrick. And that should do it. 4:22 left to go. Mount 45 and Johns Hopkins 29. Folks, Johns Hopkins was averaging on defense, giving up 11 points a game.
They were the third scoring defense in the country.
They've given up 45 today in this weather.
And now,
incredible.
How much total yardage do you think?
Oh, gosh, we got to be up around 1,000.
950. 960. I was up. It's gonna go over 1,000.
My word. That's incredible.
Tyler Echeverry, though, 22 attempts, 174 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and that long there of 54, the one that I think is going to cement Mount's trip all the way down to Houston. It's like a 18-hour or 19-hour drive. They'll, of course, fly it. You got a hotel booked yet?
I'm going to try to make something happen. 4:22 left to go in the game. It is an actual snow globe here in Alliance. The Purple Raiders lead it 45-29 over Johns Hopkins. That ball is going to go into the end zone. You're right, boy. We are quickly getting a little bit of accumulation on the turf here as the snow has really started to hammer down here in the last 10 minutes or so.
You know, you think about everything that's happened in the last, 10 minutes of game action, too. I mean, you consider Mount Union was in that situation, Sam, where they had the false start. They had to punt it back to Johns Hopkins, who looked like they were going to get the ball and go right down the field and score. And then Mount Union follows it up with a huge drive. They have a ginormous third down conversion where they throw it to Tyrell Sanders. And then I think the longest touchdown they've had today, that 54-yarder there by Tyler Echeverry. They've been, these short, kind of methodical drives all afternoon.
Pass over the middle, caught at the 31-yard line. That by the wide receiver, Robbie Enright. But snow accumulating now on the field.
I mean, the only hope
this
for
is pretty
John...
cool looking. I got to tell you, this is pretty neat right now.
This is my third one of these this year.
Unbelievable. Ranello back to throw deep left for Leger, incomplete at the 50-yard line.
I was at the Snow Globe game in Cleveland between the Browns and the Steelers. I was at the Division II state championship game between Cincinnati Anderson and Avon.
This is pretty good stuff right here.
It's pretty cool to be on the call of it, though.
No doubt. Snow continues to fly around. Blue Jays down 45-29. Raiders up in front. They still have 3 timeouts up on the board for Johns Hopkins. That's not correct. Should be 2. Ranello back to throw it again. He steps up in the pocket, dumps it off underneath Crotty. 35-40, 45-50. My goodness, 30, 25, and shoved out of bounds by Janssens, but all the way down at the Mount Union 25-yard line.
You know what that just did, by the way?
1,000.
Put us over 1,000 yards.
Unbelievable.
For 2 of the best defenses in the country, by the way.
Partial blue sky now, mostly cloud cover, and a winter blast of snow here in Alliance. 3.5 to go in the game. Ranello back to throw. It is caught. Touchdown, Johns Hopkins. Unbelievable.
So now let's talk about this.
Not over yet. I should have never said that after the last Mount touchdown.
So
I should know better.
So now let's talk about this. They've got a touchdown here. They get the 2 point.
Gets it to 8.
And then they get 2 timeouts plus
the 2 minutes.
The 2 minute warning.
And there's still 3:26 to go in the game.
I'm just saying. It starts with this, though. They got to get this.
Yeah. Well, no, they don't. we don't want any 2-point conversion here. Backs are split. Leger, the tight end, is behind the quarterback. And now they'll shift and go strong to the left with a wide to the right and Crotty. Quick dump, slant to Leger, and he muscles his way right into the end zone. 2 point is good. And, folks, this game is not anywhere near over. 3:26 left to go. Mount Union 45, Johns Hopkins 37.
Was that not one of the funniest 2-point conversion plays you've ever seen?
Didn't they try that last time down
They
here?
did, and he threw it too high.
This one was just, they worked it to a T.
So the play is that they line up, they start the formation in an inverted wishbone. That's what they do. They start like that, and it's just window dressing. Then they bring the 2 extra tight ends left. They line them up on the left side of the line as 2 extra linemen kind of extending that. And then they bring Leger out left. And they basically just toss it to him like behind the line of scrimmage. And they assume, which is a smart assumption, that there's no one that's going to be big enough to tackle their 6'5", 240-pound tight end. And it's a smart call.
It is. It is. What a ball game here today. And, folks, it is not over.
1,035 yards.
Unbelievable. In these conditions is what makes it so much more remarkable.
And James Ranello, by the way, 20 of 33, 393 yards, and 3 passing touchdowns.
So we will see an onside kick here.
I think it's a bit early for that. I'd still kick
I'm
this
surprised with the 2 timeouts and the 2-minute stoppage. Chase Alley, number 98, is on for the onside kick. And you got to be careful with the snow. He'll go with the left foot. Big high bounce. It's loose. Purple Raiders have it at the 50-yard line. Thank goodness. That was dicey.
That was a well-executed onside kick.
So the Purple Raiders now with the football. 1st and 10, Mount at midfield. Nope, they're going to mark it at the Blue Jays' 48-yard line. There's 3:25 left to go in the game. Mount Union leads it 45-37. This is the NCAA Division III College Football National Semifinal game in Alliance, Ohio. And boy, if you ever needed a drive, here's the one you need right here. TJ DeShields and company, 1st and 10, going right to left in the snow. Handoff Echeverry. Tyler got hit once, twice, and drilled at the 50-yard line. And an immediate timeout for Johns Hopkins. They've got 1 left. That stops the clock with 3:17.
So what are you going to do? I mean, you know what's coming. You know they're going to give the ball to Zero, and you know that he's going to be the one that Mount wants to carry him there. Comes down to one thing, Sam. It comes down to what it's come down to this whole run, which is, can TJ DeShields make yet another big throw?
And he's probably going to have to. Now you're behind the sticks on a 2nd and 12. You're probably going to have to put the ball up in the air. It's just a matter of the design play. Do you give TJ time? Does he end up scampering maybe? Does Noah Boudry come into the equation here at some point? I mean, there's a lot going on right now.
By the way, folks, when we're done here, check out the Q92 Sports Facebook page. I've got a before and after shot of what the snow did to the field here. It is noticeably different because we've gone through phases today. When Sam and I first got here, there was a thin layer of snow that had collected in between each sets of numbers. But they cleared that all out right before game time. And now the coolest effect of this is that you see all of the footmarks now on the field. So you can tell exactly where certain plays have gone and where they haven't, which I think is my favorite part of when it gets snowy like this, is that you can see that. You can see where there's been more action than others.
All right, here we go. Coming out of the Johns Hopkins timeout. 3:20 to go in the game. Purple Raiders 45-37. Mount 2nd and 12 at midfield, going right to left. DeShields, play action. He's going to run it. There he goes, big fella. 45, and he slides into the snow. Timeout, Johns Hopkins. And the timeout comes with 3:13 left, and DeShields was able to pick up
Not as much as we
not
thought
as
he
we
did.
thought. No, may have hit that slide about a yard early, but not going to complain about that right now. So a 3rd and 6 will be coming up. So the Blue Jays have exhausted their timeouts, but there's still that 2-minute stoppage. The 2 minutes coming up. So even if Mount gets a first down here, and John, is this 2-down territory?
I don't know. They're 4 for 4 on
I don't know if
fourth
I'm
down.
going to give them the ball back again.
They're 4 for 4 on fourth down today. Mount Union is. They're 2 for 9 on third down. So they've gambled 4 times today, and every time they've gambled on fourth down, they've come away with what they wanted to. Just incredible how clean this game has been. There's been no turnovers, and there's been 4 combined penalties between the two.
Unbelievable. Here we go.
And in these conditions, that's what's made it more amazing.
3rd and 6 Raiders at the Blue Jay 44. Purple Raiders need to get something. Echeverry around the right side. Echeverry inside the 40. He got to the Blue Jay 39. They're going to be short of the first down. And now the call of the season is coming up for Mount Union. It's 4th and 1 at the Johns Hopkins 39. You're going for it here. How are you going to plan on getting that 1 yard?
And both teams have exhausted all of their timeouts, so neither of them can stop the clock here.
How about this, John? DeShields in the gun. Thomas and Echeverry on the field for this snap. Turner left. TJ in the gun. 4th and 1. Got to have it. There's the snap. It's a bad snap. They got it to Echeverry. He got the first down to the 33-yard line of Johns Hopkins. Money play by the money player. First down, Raiders. The clock will go all the way down to the 2-minute timeout, and the Blue Jays are out of timeouts.
5 for 5 on fourth down today.
That's ridiculous, is what that is. That you don't go 5 for 5 on fourth downs at this level in this kind of a game, and that's exactly what Mount Union did. And there's your 2-minute timeout.
And what's crazier about that is the 2 for 10 on third down. That's if you came into the day. I mean, let's I'm gonna paint a picture for you of stats.
Okay, Da Vinci.
If I told you coming into the day that Mount Union was going to be 2 for 10 on third down and give up 393 passing yards, just those 2 stats, that's all I would have told you. What would you have said they did today?
Not a good outcome.
And they are up by 8 with the 2-minute warning left. That's why it's so hard to beat Mount in these situations. You know, other colleges, other programs, they question it all year. How can you get by Mount? How can you get by Mount in the playoffs? What can you do? And you look back to the last team that did it in Alma last year. And I think you could argue, and there's a lot of people here on campus that would argue this too, that yes, Alma played well and beat Mount, but Mount also didn't execute in that game. And that's the key to the equation, is that if you're going to beat Mount, you not only need to play a perfect game, which, by the way, Johns Hopkins has played damn near a perfect game.
Yes, and still.
But you need to hope that Mount doesn't execute in certain situations. And even though they didn't on third down, they went for it 5 times on fourth down, and they got every single one of them. And that's why, barring any type of weird thing that happens, they're going to be going to Houston.
Unbelievable. What a crazy, wild, bizarre Saturday afternoon of football here in Alliance. Through the sun, the clouds, the wind, the snow, the flurries. It's just been this. Well, we've said it. This is how it should be. If you're going to punch your ticket to go somewhere to win the whole thing, this is how it's supposed to be.
There was a Massillon-McKinley game about 20 years ago now. It was played in Massillon, where before the game, I think we had every type of weather known to man.
First down, Raiders at the 33-yard line of Johns Hopkins. Again, both teams completely out of timeouts. Purple Raiders lead 45-37.
Will knees do this?
It's going to be close. You better be careful on how quickly you go down to take the knee. You might want to.
Because now you're at 40.
You might want to take a couple of, if you can, a couple of extra seconds before you take the knee. Because I don't think at 2 minutes you can completely run this out. I don't think.
So 40 plus 40 is a minute 20, right? Yeah, you can run it
So
out.
can you run it out?
Yeah, you're out.
All right. Game
I
clock
think-
at
I
a minute
think.
30. The play clock is at 14. So maybe
It should. I've just never seen a team actually starting to take knees this early before.
Yeah. Raiders take another knee.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That should do it.
They need to do it one more time.
They'll do it one more time. And Mount Union, in one of the more wild and woolly regular seasons and postseasons in the history of this football program, the guys in purple have found a way to punch their ticket back to the national championship game. There were times this year where some thought maybe not, but boy, did they just keep playing hard. Next man up mentality. TJ DeShields coming in. And how about this scene today here in Alliance, Ohio, as Mount Union is going to get the job done. The final 20 seconds ready to run off here at Kara Stadium. And I'll tell you what, this baby was done the old-fashioned way. And the Mount Union Purple Raiders earned it here today. Your final score in the NCAA Division III National Semifinal, Mount Union 45, Johns Hopkins 37. What a day in Alliance, Ohio. The postgame show is coming up next. Stay tuned. Lots to unpack. 1310 WDPN, Q92radiosports.com. The Raiders are going to Texas.
Regional EMS stands as your trusted partner for all things emergency and
windshield safer. Montfort Glass. Call 330-823-0450 or stop by at 30 South Union Avenue in Alliance.
You're listening to Mount Union Football on AM 1310 WDPN.
Well, it wasn't easy. Wasn't always fun either. I don't know, it was a really fun game, actually. Mount Union a winner, 45-37 over Johns Hopkins. They move on to the Stag Bowl for, I don't even know what time at this point. What feels like about the 80th time in school history. Either way, they'll play for flag number 14 to be hung on the poles flying in the left end zones here in Alliance at Karas Stadium. They'll look to add to what has already been an unbelievable run for this program that continues to get better each and every time. We're going to give you some final numbers here. A game that involved over 1,000 total yards. Total count by the end of the day was 1,049 yards. By the way, Johns Hopkins actually outgained Mount Union 531 to 518 in this ball game. Mount Union, though, led by Tyler Echeverry, 25 attempts, 183, 3 rushing touchdowns. We'll have our highlight of the game later with him on it. We're actually going to run through some more of the Mount Union highlights than just the one this afternoon. TJ DeShield, 17 of 27, 218 through the air, and all of it was done in the fact that Johns Hopkins was 20 of 33 through the air. James Ranello, 393 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. This is now the 4th time, actually 5th time this year. John Carroll the first time, Marietta, Carnegie Mellon the 4th time, 5th time if you count Muskingum, that Mount Union has taken someone's best punch to the end of the game, and they've survived and hung on, and they keep their undefeated season alive. Now 14-0 on the year with this win as they defeat Johns Hopkins 45-37 behind one incredible offensive effort led again by Tyler Echeverry. 25 attempts, 183 yards, 3 touchdowns, and all of it was done knowing that on the other side, Johns Hopkins just kept on coming. Mount Union moves on to the Stag Bowl again. We'll come back and wrap it up with our key highlights of the game after this. We stay back here on AM 1310 WDPN. Just going through this, I know that we're going to get one more break in here eventually, too. Our board op is taking care of a couple of other things right now back at the studio. Sam, just this effort as a whole for Mount this afternoon, just a really, really incredible win for them. You know, I think you think back through some of their victories this year, and a lot of them have been like this. You know, I mean, I think back to the John Carroll game that we had here, and that seems like such a far cry away back in September to now when it was like 80 degrees outside. And then we kind of waited for a while. We had the Otterbein game that was a little dicey. That was 21-0, but Mount Union still was like always kind of in control of that. And then it was 2 straight weeks. You and I were here, and Marietta took them to the wire, to the limit.
Yep.
And then a week later, to our surprise, they went down to Muskingum, and Muskingum put them in a dogfight. And then you and I both went into the playoffs thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to be John Carroll to open things off. They passed for over 400 yards on them back in September. They're going to come in and do it again. And they play their best game of the year. And they run through John Carroll. And then the Carnegie Mellon game that was a battle. And then, you know, this was the best one we've seen, though, this year. This was the best game.
This was
the best game we've seen all year.
No doubt. This was everything you thought a national semifinal game would be. It had everything. It had the elements. It had two great teams. It had two teams that have shown over the year they can play defense. It had two great teams that have shown over the year they could put the ball in the end zone. We saw it all. We saw Noah Boudry on a couple of big plays today, getting first downs for Mount Union. We saw guys playing in big moments, big plays. Guys like Poundstone and that, just stepped up when they had to, whether it was a play or a series or a quarter, whatever it was. They stepped up and they made plays. There were big plays. There were how many, John? Third down plays, fourth down plays, possession saving or stopping plays. This thing had everything. My hat's off to both teams, because if you're just a good old-fashioned football fan, you were thoroughly entertained by what happened here today. No question about it.
Yeah, one of the more entertaining playoff games that Mount Union has had to win at this point over their years, and they've had some tough ones and some entertaining ones, but in a year in a program that has hung their hat on dominating just about everybody that comes through here, this year, I think for me, and I think for you too, Sam, it's been refreshing as a football fan, because it's been a lot of games where you and I don't get to do this very often here, where you come into this stadium and you have a battle, and to have 5 of them this year that have been like this. And look, Susquehanna or North Central on the other side, in 2 weeks, Mount's going to have to play their A game again. And we know that going down to Houston. So we're going to take our final break, and we'll come back and give you our key highlights from today's game.
Regional EMS stands as your trusted partner for all things emergency and non-emergency transportation.
Consultation.
Neither tailored services nor the background of your financial professional should be construed as a guarantee of a particular outcome. Past performance does not guarantee future results. All investing comes with risk, including risk of loss. Markham Wealth is an SEC registered investment advisor. Registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training.
We're turned back in here, final time today on AM 1310 WDPN. Sam and I will be with you today, and then, gosh, we got 2 weeks to wait. And
Yeah, we got 2 weeks. Not used to that 2-week downtime in between the semifinal and the Stag Bowl, but with the addition of 8 playoff teams and a bye, and then another bye after the semis, now you wait until next year to play the championship game. So, yeah, January 5th?
yeah, we won't talk to you again
We won't talk to you then.
until next year. So it's going to be a whole year until we chat to you. 3 highlights we want to play today. They are all runs by Tyler Echeverry, because I think that what is more apt in discussing this Mount season than the guy that's found the end zone for them 29 times this year on the ground. First one in the first half, 13 yards. Here it was.
20, 25, go, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Purple Raiders, there's our guy. Darnell Williams into the end zone, touchdown, Mount Union.
Well, we get a bonus one. That's Darnell Williams, the first touchdown of the day. We'll play the second touchdown now for Mount Union. The run by Tyler Echeverry, the second touchdown of the day.
He found Thomas. That's the good news. It's down to the 13-yard line. Here's Echeverry right up the middle. 15, 10, 5. He crosses the goal line and a touchdown. Officials say touchdown. I'm sure this will be a review. Here they come already out of the field. 13-7 Mount Union.
So I'm trying to think here. The next one that we would want to play would be the 5th touchdown of the day by Mount Union. This was the run late in the game. It was in the 4th quarter. The penultimate touchdown of the day for Mount Union, if you will. Their 5th.
Raiders now going to go Echeverry behind the Shields. Double H back right, Turner left. Give to Tyler. Echeverry 10, 5, 4, 3, 2. He leads into the end zone. Touchdown, Mount Union.
Was a really great run there by Tyler, but it all pales in comparison to the final, the 6th Mount Union touchdown of the day. Even though Sam and I kind of celebrated a little bit prematurely.
Yeah, we did. We should know better, too.
It was 54 yards, and here it is, Tyler Echeverry for the 29th time this year. Here's how it sounded.
And for them to have battle after battle this year, man, what a season it's been.
Different feel to it. Echeverry right side, 50. He's got a break at the 40. Echeverry, 35, 30, 25, 20. Tyler Echeverry, pay dirt, touchdown.
54 yards on his way to the end zone. Incredible run by Tyler Echeverry. And as Sam said after that, Houston, here we come.
Here we come.
It is not Houston, we have a problem.
It's Houston, here we come.
And it's actually, I want to quote that before we go down to Houston. It was not actually quoted as Houston, we have a problem. It was, we have a problem here.
We have a problem, Houston.
That's what it was. We have a problem here, Houston. If you're a fan of Apollo 11 and the NASA, which maybe Sam and I can visit NASA. You ever been to NASA?
I have not.
My brother lived in Houston for like almost 10 years, so I could show you the run of the town if I wanted to.
H-Town.
Yeah.
Okay. Johnny boy.
But that
ready to
involves,
run it.
Ready
to run the streets.
That's right. I know people who know people.
It's a shame we got to wait 2 weeks.
It is.
But we'll do what we were told. So next time we talk to you, we'll be in Houston at Shell Energy Stadium, the home of the Houston Dynamo soccer team.
Really just rolls off the tongue.
It does, doesn't it? Ugh, I have to get used to that. But that'll be for all the marbles, and that'll be on Sunday night. Don't forget, it's a Sunday night, 7 o'clock, Mount Union against either North Central Illinois or Susquehanna. And I believe that's a 7-ish kickoff. And we'll be on the air from Houston, and hopefully we'll bring back the Stag Bowl trophy for the 14th time. Can't wait, man. That's going to be fun.
It's
and the weather, you would think. Now, there's no guarantees because
I think it's a dome. I think it's a dome, though, isn't it?
No.
Oh, it's not.
Oh, no. It's open air. But I'll never forget 1979 Cotton Bowl, Notre Dame and Houston. It was like 3 degrees at the Cotton Bowl. So
that was when,
I'm not counting my chickens yet.
That was when Montana for Notre Dame back then.
They were down 34-20. They won 35-34.
Yeah. Wonder how many people lost money that day.
I'm sure we can find out.
Yeah,
Well,
Shell Energy Stadium, you look at it, it's a capacity of a little over 20,000.
Should be good.
And it's not directly in the downtown area. Those that don't know Houston, it's kind of divided into like 4 or 5 downtowns. There's your main like business district downtown. There's your shopping district downtown. There's a downtown that, look, if you ever have a health procedure that you need done, go to Houston, because they have a whole downtown that's devoted to like every hospital that has a specialist for literally everything. Like if the outside corner of your eye hurts, they have a specialist for that. And then there's another downtown that's devoted to kind of where NRG Stadium is and where the Texans play. So
it's big.
It's huge.
It's sprawling.
It's like if you've ever been to New York, I mean, New York is divided into the boroughs. This is kind of almost divided into different boroughs of a sort that it's just much more modernized than New York is.
Should be a good time, and until then, we wish you all the best. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody, and Happy New Year too. We won't see you until after the New Year, but when we do, will be coming to you from deep in the heart of Texas. And the Purple Raiders will be there. We'll be there, and hopefully if you can't make it, you'll be with us via the airwaves and looking for a good night. Should be a good time.
Good call, Sam.
Ready to roll?
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready to roll. I got to get in the car and hustle.
So you got a trip.
I got to get all the way to the other side of town here by 4:15. Okay, final score: Mount Union 45, Johns Hopkins 37. For my partner John Bazika, the crew here at Mount Union, and the crew back at 1310 WDPN. Thanks for listening, everybody. It sure was a lot of fun. Raiders are going to the Stag Bowl. Have a great weekend, everybody. So long.
AM 1310 WDPN thanks you for listening.